Hi there, this is Dave Scott, and I would like to invite you to listen Monday through Friday right here on Spaced Out Radio. 3 hours a night of the top stories with the top guests, ranging topics from UFOs to ETs, ghosts to Sasquatch, and everything in between. We are live every night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. So come on in and take a listen at spacedoutradio.com. Spaced Out Radio will take you out of this world.
Sky 6316, 8.8 for 6,000.
Yeah, 6316, North Approach, so maintain 3,000, I'm 1 for the right.
3,000, Sky 6316.
Redwood 811, so maintain 4,000, airport open to Fox 1.
We take you higher and higher and higher. You feel it over and over again. We take you higher and higher and higher. You feel it over and over again.
6 Roman Terrafly runway heading runway 5. Let's take off.
Check.
And we are ready for takeoff. Sit back, relax. It's time to travel with Cosmic Passport. Spaced Out Weekend presents Elizabeth Anglin's Cosmic Passport. A 1-hour warm-up of news, stories, thoughts, and ideas to captivate your mind. You can follow us at spacedoutradio.com.
Now 20 years have passed us by, and we look back and count the time. Burning like the summer sun, when the world was young. As I lay staring from the ground, and 7 trumpets wait to sound.
And now, here's Our Lady of Flight, Cosmic Passport with Elizabeth Anglin.
From this place.
Good evening and welcome to Spaced Out Radio Weekend, the only online radio show where just before the host gets on the show, asks, "What are you wearing?" and says, "A kimono. How about that?" How many of you are wearing a kimono? If you're wearing a kimono, put your hands up on the chat room tonight. We are on spacedoutradio.com, coming to you through Spreaker. There is a Spreaker chat room if you're listening to us on spacedoutradio.com. We are also on Revolution Radio, we hope, which you can find through freedomslips.com. Nope, we're not, but we will be someday. Okay. And we are on TuneIn and other places. If you are listening in the Spaced Out Radio Space Travelers chat room, I do know how many of you are wearing a kimono, because I am. It's a kimono kind of night. Because what do you do when you live in the United States? And, by the way, this is Elizabeth. I don't sound at all like James. This is Elizabeth Anglin. I am female. I live in the United States. And we, guy, locker room guy, such a man's man, a really manly man, running against the first woman that we've had run for president, who is also married to kind of a smarmy man's man. Anyway, tonight was a debate. I actually avoided the whole thing. I avoided the entire thing, and I decided that instead of subjecting myself to a big dose of duality, yes, people, that's the word. That's the phrase for tonight. I am going to wait for Bill Cardwell to come up with a password based on duality. I decided to just skip the whole thing and watch Spanish telenovelas, especially Grand Hotel, and just avoid the entire situation and wear kimono. Because why? Because I can. So tonight, yes, we had our second presidential debate in the United States. Hearing from my Canadian friends, they're thinking about building the wall. And hearing from my American friends, I don't think anybody knows what hit them. It's like somebody came along, the Three Stooges style, maybe Mo, maybe Curly, maybe Shep, came along with a big 2x4 that they just kept whacking everybody in the head with. That's what I'm hearing. But I didn't watch. Because why? Because I chose escapism. So, that being said, let's escape into the idea of non-duality. What? Non-duality? Yes, I say non-duality. Why? Because so much of what's happening in American politics today is based on the promotion of duality. And so much of what many of us are trying to do as spiritualist mediums and experiencers, people who are experiencing completely other types of beings who aren't even human, people who are talking to animals, people who are talking to Bigfoot and having Bigfoot sightings. You know what we're doing? For the most part, we're really seeking non-duality. We're not seeking up and down, this or that, inside and outside, right or wrong, black and white, true and false, positive and negative, and you, and so on. We are seeking non-duality. We are seeking to understand, grow, and learn from something that which is other than us, other than human. Think about it. If you're a ghost, are you human? Well, you might have a human soul or a spirit, but are you human? Not in the way that those of us in a body are human. If you're Bigfoot, are you human? Well, we really may be, related, but are you human? We don't know. We haven't done any genetic testing. And if you are human, you're a really hairy human. But this is what I love about Spaced Out Radio, is that this is the place for experiencers to come and really read the rest of the universe open-heartedly, open-mindedly, and with great longing to try to find out what it's like and what else is out there that is different. And that in and of itself is a seeking for unity, a seeking for oneness. And you know what? That's not what's happening in American politics right now. So I'm going to read a little story tonight, a little blog post by Nick Hing of the Non-Duality Network. Yes, there is such a thing, a non-duality network. Nick Higgum did an interview with a guy called Jeff Foster. And his little tagline is, quote, "You don't have a life. You cannot lose a life. You are on the sun, moon, and stars." Think about that for a second. And here is the writing, and it's called Life Without a Center, written in the English. Center is written centre.com. LifewithoutaCenter.com is where you'll find this under What is Non-Duality. What does the word non-duality point to? The world created by thought, the world of words, language, and concepts, is the world of opposites, male and female, up and down, this or that, inside and outside, right and wrong, black and white, true and false, positive and negative, me and you, and so on. In American politics, this is my aside, I would say right now that we have Republicans and Democrats, male candidate, female candidate, and so on. And on with the story. The world of words, language, thoughts, concepts is a dualistic world of apparent opposites. But in reality, do opposites exist? What we are really pointing to when we use the word non-duality is something that goes beyond all of these mind-made opposites. But how can we talk about something that goes beyond opposites when even our attempt to talk about non-duality is dualistic? So, what the word non-duality actually means is really very described or words. In fact, you could say it's impossible. For we are not talking about non-duality as opposed to something called duality. We are not talking about pro-duality as opposed to anti-duality. In fact, the non-duality we speak of is not the opposite of anything. This is impossible to understand logically or rationally. To see what is being spoken of, we must go beyond our ordinary way of thinking and seeing. Non-duality is actually a translation of the Sanskrit word Advaita, which simply means not two. Om, and points to the essential oneness, wholeness, completeness, unity of life, a wholeness which exists here and now prior to any apparent separation. It's a word that points to an intimacy, a love beyond words, right at the heart of the present moment experience. It's a word that points us back home. And despite the compelling appearance of separation and diversity, there is only one universal essence, one reality. Oneness is all there is, and we are all included. What we are really trying to do when we say non-duality is point to life as it is right now, before the appearance of concepts and labels, before thought creates a world of things, table, chair, hand, foot, fear, me, you, past, future, for thought. Can we even talk about that? Is it possible to capture non-duality into words? When we speak of non-duality, it can sometimes seem like we mean anti-duality, that we are against duality, or that it's wrong or false or even dangerous. And this can even lead to dogmatic thinking and religiosity and to the proclamation of a certain rightness. You are dualistic, and I am not dualistic. I am more non-dual than you. That is a religion of non-duality, which is not non-dual, and we are more interested in the truth of non-duality. I'm going to stop here because I think that what we're seeing in American politics, or what we're seeing as we look at the process of debate, and we look at the polarization of what's happening, that we are being subjected to through the media and through places like Facebook and through inflammatory writing, is a tremendous, tremendous amount of duality. I love the Spaced Out Radio listeners. I love everybody on the Spaced Out Radio team. We are not just one thing. We are not Democrats and Republicans. We are not just men or women. We are not just I'm for this person or I'm for that person. There are people on the Spaced Out Radio family who I don't care if they're supporting Trump, and I don't care if they're supporting Hillary. I don't care if they consider themselves to be a right-wing Republican or a libertarian, because beyond that, we have something that binds us together, which is our seek for truth. We are seeking truth in our present moment experiences. So I want to be very clear when I say, if you are coming onto my Facebook page or reading any of the posts that I've been making about, every once in a while I do get political. I try to avoid it. But if you're reading any of the posts, I'm not for either side. I'm not saying this is black or this is white, or he is right or she is wrong, or she is right or he is wrong, or he is male and that's why he does this, and she is female and that's why I'm not doing that. And also for everyone who's listening, I'm not going to pick a dualistic side. I'm not going to buy into the polarity. There are things that we wish and desire and hope will happen through our political process, and regardless of who we vote for, most of those things we have a commonality within. We have a commonality of wishes. We may have different opinions about how we get from that point, our point A right now, to our point B, but our wishes and desires and our hopes, by and large, are the same. And that makes us together. That is a unity. That is where we fall outside the realm of duality, and that's where I want to keep it. So if you're, listening to people that in the paranormal world who are really supporting one American candidate versus the other, or really getting upset, or really having problems with this particular process of voting that's coming up in the next month, step back. Don't paint yourself as me and you, us or them, positive and negative, right or wrong, truthful or lying, any of it, because literally what we're about on the groups that we share together is an understanding of truth in the present moment, truth in the present experience. And most of the people listening to this show are really seeking to understand things that are very, very different, things that are very, very non-dual, and your behavior and what you choose to do with your time shows that you are a person who is seeking a certain amount of non-duality, and I applaud you for being here. Thank you for being here on Spaced Out Radio. So that's my sermonizing on non-duality, the poor American who avoided the whole thing. But, it's important to think about it, because when you find yourself falling into separation and out of the present moment and out of your present experiences, you lose the thread of truth. And you know what? Truth can just be yours. It doesn't have to belong to what the media says or what a candidate says or what somebody says about a candidate. There's a truth that goes beyond that, and that's the truth of our everyday experiences. That's the truth of our paranormal experiences. That's the truth of our experiences when we see alien beings. It's the truth of our experiences when we have Bigfoot encounters. And you know what? It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about that truth. That is our truth. And, all the other stuff can just go hang. That is my opinion about politics and duality today. And that being said, I love my computer. I was going to move on and read some more stuff about wild and crazy things that are happening in the paranormal world. And my computer is just going like, I can't deal with it. It's duality, man. It's so heavy. It makes me slow. I can't pull up the page. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so here, I've got the page I need. All right. Thumbing through the many things that we could talk about. I'm coming. I'm thumbing through. I'm thumbing, but I'm actually kind of scrolling. Like if this were the old days, I'd be thumbing. I'd be like, okay, here's my file folder. But all right. Do you guys want to hear about UFOs?
Yes.
You're going to hear about UFOs? Okay. Well, there's a lot of stuff that's coming in from the Latin side of the world this week. A new book is out, and this is from Inexplicata, one of my favorite blogs. It's talking about J.J. Benitez's book, where he describes Fidel Castro's UFO encounter. Yes, we're talking about socialists and communists seeing UFOs. Oh my God, just because Fidel Castro saw a UFO, guess what? We must all be communist. Mm-hmm. No, that's not true. We're not. So, here is the story about Fidel Castro. Renowned researcher and writer Juan Jose Benitez turned 70 this year on September 1st. 50 of these years he has spent within journalism. By way of celebration, Editorial Planeta made the book Solo para tus ojos, for your eyes only, available in Mexico, and I'm sorry if I butchered the pronunciation. With a selection of 300 cases that have most startled the author when he has read about unidentified flying objects. One of these cases on page 83 of the book discusses a sighting by Fidel Castro before 1959, when the Cuban Revolution was up in the Sierra Maestra mountain range. I have seen one, Castro told Panamanian research Jose Luis Gil during an official event with Panamanian President Martin Torres. There we were, in the middle of the night, Fidel explained, with our rifles on our knees. Then we suddenly saw a light darting among the stars. The light approached the group of commanders and poured over us like a bucket. It was round and enormous. The countryside and the mountains became illuminated as though it was daylight. This statement has caught the attention of the UFO community worldwide, given that it is a high credibility report from one of the century's most emblematic characters. Soy para tus ojos is the first installment of a trilogy. The second is written, and the third is yet to be written, says J.J. Benitez. My intention was to collect 1,000 cases from all over the world, which caught my attention for some reason at the time I heard them, and which are unpublished events. So he's looking for, basically, 1,000 new things you've never heard of before. Benitez, who has sold almost 9 million copies of the book worldwide, added that this book is an acknowledgement to all the people who have followed me since 1972, 44 years of uninterrupted research all over the world. Juanjo, as he likes his friends to call him, is considered a living legend in UFO research and dissemination worldwide, except for in the United States where we don't speak Spanish and nobody translates for us. An author has gone around the world 100 times, always after mysteries, enigmas, and anomalous flying objects. So there you go. Even communists see UFOs. That means they're just like the rest of us, who may or may not be communist on any given day. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your politics are. You're still going to see a UFO if it's there. Okay, next sighting in Latin America. Argentina, alleged UFO reported over San Luis at the feast of Our Lady of Cabrera. You know, I like this. I like it when UFOs get mixed up with Catholic feasts and saints. I especially like it when, like, there's the Fatima sighting, and UFOs are all mixed up together. It's just so much fun. And part of it is, I think that for me, what I've noticed is that some holy spots in the world, some spots that are high energy healing areas where you might find a little Catholic shrine or a healing shrine or a place to go pray, if you douse them, they're great big honking vortexes. So there's all sorts of spiritual energy coming in, otherworldly energy coming in, energy from light beings. So, when you combine that with UFOs, to me, it just speaks to, wow, there's a great big portal. Well, of course. Well, what have we got? We've got Ogopogo and UFOs and a great big portal. We've got Our Lady of Fatima and UFOs and a great big portal. Portals are fun. And Joe Algier, watch out for your portals. That's all I got to say. I'm going to take a drink before I read this. This is also from In Explicata, the Journal of Hispanic Ufology. Give me a sec. Sorry, guys. Okay. This is the story in An Explicata. Argentina, alleged UFO reported over San Luis at the Feast of Our Lady of Cabrera. A woman taking photos during the Feast of Our Lady of Cabrera in San Luis noticed a strange presence in the images that is comparable to a UFO. And they show the image, and my goodness, it certainly does look like a picture of a UFO. Maria del Carmen Gil took photos during the festivities and upon reviewing them became aware of the odd element. I touched the screen to see if it was dirty, showed it to my relatives, and no one could make heads or tail of it, the woman told Cadena 3. So there is a picture here, and it's pretty good. And there's a picture of a UFO over the Feast of Our Lady of Cabrera. And this is in Explicata. So sometimes people do get pretty good pictures because that looks like a good one. All right, now speaking of portals and feasts and healing shrines, our next story is from Mysterious Universe, and it is Bizarre Tales of Real Interdimensional Travelers. This is by Brent Swanser, who raises the question, what if we are the crypto-terrestrials? Gee, we've never talked about this on Spaced Out Radio before. Yeah, okay, what if we actually are the aliens? I don't know. What do you say? I thought, well, I could be. Well, Dave seems like an alien. Well, I know James is kind of, well, I don't know about James, but Dave is kind of alien, yeah. Okay, so anyway, if humanity's prehistoric diaspora from Africa isn't awe-inspiring enough, there are plenty of people recounting their adventures across the eighth dimension only to return home. There is cause for skepticism, as Brent cites in the sketchy everyday chemistry tale and its recorded proof. If parallel travel machines do exist, with tech indistinguishable from magic, possibly making their pilots akin to our witches and wizards, would they be vindictive enough to curse those who cross them? Well, I don't know. But I want to read Bizarre Tales of Interdimensional Travelers because I think it's possible to travel between dimensions, at least consciously. And if there are ships that can, convert matter to energy to consciousness, it shouldn't be too far out to consider. Here is the story at mysteriousuniverse.org, 2016, 10 Bizarre Tales of Real Interdimensional Travelers. The idea that our universe is not alone, that other dimensions exist that brush up against our own, is nothing new. It has been fueled for science fiction for years, and in modern times, science has grown to accept that indeed there very well may be other parallel universes existing beside our own. The implications of such possibilities open up the inevitable question of if alternate universes do exist. Then, is it possible to travel to them? While the basic premise of other universes beyond our own has theories that point to the possibility, crossing over that veil between them is murkier territory. Yet, there are cases of enigmatic people who claim to have done just that, pushing through the boundaries of different realities to jump from one universe to the next. In this article, I am not going to pretend to understand how such a process might work, how it would be possible, or how the known laws of physics would allow for it. I'm not going to lay down complicated theories of interdimensional travel or the intricacies of what it might entail. What I'm going to do is to present to you the most bizarre tales of those who have claimed to done this kind of travel. So, this is what our author says. Moving on. On November 9th, 1986, at around 11 p.m. at night, a car was driving along a rural road on its way from Seville, Spain, to the town of Alcalá de Guadaira. Within this car was a man named Pedro Oliva Ramirez, who was on his way home from a business trip. He knew the road well, even in the dark, and may have perhaps been lost to his own thoughts as the monotonous landscape blurred by the night, yet he would encounter something that was to startle him awake into the now. As he turned a bend in the road, he claims that the narrow 2-lane road had suddenly become a wide 6-lane spacious boulevard which he had never seen before. Ramirez was positive that he had taken a wrong turn somewhere, and he was equally sure that he saw around him what should not have existed in the state he knew the area to be in. Although the inexplicably broad highway he found himself on was thin and very tall green grass that had never been there before, as well as buildings that looked like small houses and apartment buildings about 20 stories in height scattered about, which was odd considering that he had never seen such structures before in all of his times traveling through the area. Out in the distance, he claimed he could make out sprawling factories of some sort covered with shimmering lights that loomed upon the landscape like some sort of alien creatures. And again, he was sure those had never been there before. As he tried to get his head around what he was seeing, Ramirez began to notice there was a strange heat welling up around him, eating into him. And then he could hear a din of voices echoing out from the distance. One of these voices allegedly reached out through the cacophony and clearly explained to him that he had been transported to another dimension. Becoming unsettled by the whole ordeal, Ramirez then began to notice that there were other cars on the road whizzing by him, which he described as being old-fashioned white or beige Cadillacs with license plates that were wholly different than those that were typically issued in Spain, being merely narrow, dark rectangles. Ramirez continued his drive onwards and occasionally stopped the car to take a look around, but everything seemed somehow alien and unfamiliar, with the odd high grass seeming to dominate the landscape as far as he could see. He eventually came to a sign designating the ways to the towns of Alcbala, Malaga, and Seville, and he turned off to follow the road leading there. After some time driving along the road in confusion, he was allegedly met with the sight of his very own home in the town of Alcalá de Guadaira, looking precisely the way he had left it. According to his clock, he had been on the road for more than 3 hours and had used... my computer wants to go to another dimension. Okay, I'm just going to say this about what he's saying here. You know, he hears a voice telling him he's in another dimension. I can tell you, being an experiencer, I've had some screen memories that are just about as crazy. All right. According to his clock, he had been on the road for more than 3 hours and had used way more gas than he should have for what should have been a mere 30-minute drive under normal circumstances. Ramirez would go back and try to find the route that he had taken him home, but to no avail. Neither could he relocate the expansive 6-lane highway he had traveled. So, you know, he just couldn't do it over again. He had traveled nor any sign of outdated Cadillacs that had been everywhere during his strange journey. Indeed, a look at maps confirmed that he had suspected from the beginning that no such broad highway existed. Had Pedro Oliva Ramirez somehow passed into another dimension during his bizarre drive home? We may never know. As an experiencer, I can say, wow, that I've heard a lot of screen memories, and a lot of screen memories can be about, you know, doing the thing that you were doing before you were taken, but it all becomes very weird and dreamlike in order to not, so that you don't remember the thing that was actually happening. So I'm going to leave this story here and see what James has to say about his weirdest dream ever, if he is around. Or he might be getting tea, you know, because sometimes he gets tea and he puts lemon in it, and then he...
I got my tea.
Around? Okay.
I did. I ran and got my tea. Dreams, I lucid dream. So, yeah, they're strange. And I can make them stranger. But... you know, I have a lot of control of what's going on in the dream, and and as a kid, before I knew that not everyone could do this, but I would have on a Monday night, I'd have a really cool dream. I don't know, spies and jumping over things and riding horses and doing all the cool stuff. So I wanted it again Tuesday night. So I think about it, go to sleep, and sure enough, I could continue. I could have Fun Dream 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold. Yeah, I could just do a complete continuation of the dream from the night before. And it was years later I found out that...
That is very cool.
Yeah, that people can't do that a lot. And I went, oh, then I won't talk about this anymore.
Right. No, it's really cool. Like, most of these, I'm reading the rest of these stories, and most of these to me sound like screen memories. That's why I stopped reading it. I mean, they have a guy it's so dreamlike, and it's so, the people that he's presented with, there's Richards is the next guy. He described it being about...
Oh, you cut out again.
6 foot tall, dressed casually nice. Oh.
No, you're back.
Really nice. Am I cutting out?
Yeah, you have me.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, what?
Well, the cat just came and stepped on the phone. She did step on the phone. That kitty cat. She's such a...
the very next
she
day.
Came over. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, so I think that a lot of these interdimensional travel things, you know, if you're abducted, you could be traveling interdimensionally, but it sounds like there's some weird mind control stuff going on. Have you ever experienced weird mind control, James?
Oh, yeah. I was in training for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. That's what my drill corporal would do. So, no, I haven't. I did have a really good interview with a guy a couple of years ago, and his name is Ian Wallace. Guess where he's from? He's in Scotland. He's Ian Wallace. Hey! Yeah, he's probably one of those Wallaces. Is this his?
Yeah.
But he went through the common dreams: being chased, toilet troubles, your teeth falling out, being naked in public, unprepared for an exam, flying, falling, missing on a train or a plane, wrong number, or guilty of a crime. And I really didn't know those would be the top 10 common dreams. Well, I never heard about the teeth falling out one. And probably 3 weeks later, I had a teeth falling out dream. So
what was it? What was the teeth falling out dream? Because that's like my typical one. When I was younger, I had the going to school without my clothes on.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I had various. And so, what did he say about teeth falling out?
When you dream about your teeth falling out, usually contemplating how powerful and confident you are feeling in your day-to-day life. So we show our teeth when we're smiling or we're going to bite something, and it often indicates happiness, self-assurance, and your waking life. Now, dreaming of losing your teeth indicates that a particular situation is challenging you in your day-to-day reality, and it's caused you to lose confidence in your ability to deal with it. And there's different ones. Your teeth are dropping out one by one, or, are you receiving a knock to your confidence in this area of your life, and you're losing your nerves about something else. Crumbling teeth are another one, usually indicate that your self-confidence is crumbling in a particular area of your normal life.
Yeah. Well, I can look back and that was in my 20s, and it was usually during like severe relationship issues where, what your expectations of what was going to happen in the relationship turned into something completely different. And then I started dreaming about my teeth falling out or crumbling out because the relationship was, showing itself for what it was, which was
crumbling aliens.
Not what it was. Yes. No, it wasn't aliens. It was just, various people not showing up in their possible supportive roles. And then, you just kind of lose it. So, yeah, I would say that's correct.
Do you control yourself in your dreams, though? Like the naked...
I control myself?
No, can you, like, as a third party, like, if you're walking in a hallway, you can say, I'm going to turn left, and you turn left? Or, don't go in that room, there's a clown riding a dinosaur.
What's interesting is that I think sometimes the naked dreams got shoved into the alien abduction dreams, because sometimes in the alien abduction experiences, you'll be in a line of people and you'll all be naked. And so sometimes I'd have the dream where I was like walking down the hall in a line of students, and I'd be the student with no clothes on. Okay. And so I couldn't
this really is very
control
important.
myself.
When you're in that dream and you're naked in a line of students, does anyone notice you're naked?
Not until I notice I'm naked.
Oh, okay. Because the naked dreams are that there's something in your life that's making you feel vulnerable and exposed. Say you're going into an unfamiliar situation, new job, relationship, and you feel like you have a lack of confidence in your abilities. And now even like in your dream, if you're naked, even though you try to hide your nakedness by whatever means, like hiding behind a bar or something, no one else seems to notice because you still appear confident to them.
Right. Yeah, no, in my dreams, nobody would notice I was naked until I realized I was naked. And then it was just terrible. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm naked. That's what's going on.
And as soon as you
here.
said that out loud, everyone went, well, geez, we weren't even noticing until you shouted, you crazy woman. See, I had a naked dream not too long ago, and I went through the whole, okay, I got to hide this. This is embarrassing. Oh my gosh, someone's going to see me naked. And I basically looked around and consciously my sleeping human said, screw it. Just walk around naked. And I did. And then the dream ended because I had controlled, I took control back in the dream.
Wow. That's very, very cool.
But I've always been able to, it's like, the dark, menacing, monstrous thing comes looming over you and you're just absolutely paralyzed. And I'm thinking, screw you. And I manifest a sword or a gun and I blow its brains out. Like, because I'm tired of being scared. So I react back at it and then it goes away. And if it doesn't, and when they don't go away, it's really weird. I seem to partner up with them. It's like, okay, I'll leave you alone. You're as tough as me. So we end up walking down the street going for pie. I don't know. Speaking of pie.
Yes.
It's Thanksgiving in Thanksgiving Canada. And somebody told me online that you also have a Thanksgiving. Well, up in Canada, we have turkey, sweet potato pie. We have all these things, pumpkin pie and stuff like that.
Is it Thanksgiving right now? Are you do you have like Columbus Day?
No, it's Thanksgiving.
It's Columbus Day here.
Well, see, Columbus isn't a big deal for us because, the Norse landed in Newfoundland and Canada, 400 or 500 years before Columbus landed in North America. So we don't really recognize a bunch of Italians killing natives as a founder of our country. But they said, you guys have a Thanksgiving too. Now, like I said, we have turkey and all this other great stuff. What do you guys have for Thanksgiving?
It's not any different. It's exactly the same. We have sweet potato pie and pumpkin pie and mince pie. And
that's kind of original, isn't it?
I don't know who started first. How about that, huh? Well, ours is from... ours is... The story behind ours is the Mayflower. The people...
They get a lovely moving company.
People on the Mayflower who stopped... Yeah, well, I've been actually to the site where the Mayflower community was at Plymouth Rock. He ended up going up to Salem, but they, the real story is that basically when the Mayflower folks arrived, disease started killing off most of the natives on Cape Cod, but apparently that first or second year, Native Americans did show up, and they did share a meal at harvest time. And there were turkeys and fish, and it was a huge freaking meal that was laid out. And then there was trade, and stores were put away for winter. And that was the first Thanksgiving. And they have the community at Plymouth and the houses that they lived in, the type of houses. But, they were company people. They were people that came over to
they were separatists. They were English separatists, known as the Pilgrims.
They were separatists, but they were they were really basically owned by a company that wanted them to fish for them. I should know which company it is. It's not the French Fur Trading Company, but the other one, the British one. It was Dutch.
It was a Dutch East Indies Company.
It was, they basically all worked for the Dutch East Indies because they had spent a lot of time in Amsterdam before they were able to get across to go to Cape Cod. They had to stay in Amsterdam and they kept looking for boats to take them, and the food was so salty and the water was so bad that they were actually, that first year that they got there, they were just happy to eat some fresh food that wasn't going to kill them with salt and everything else, and happy to be off the boat. So, but yes, they were working for the Dutch, and they had to do trade, and they had to do a lot of.
They were high fishing. As a kite when they got here.
They were sick as they were. A lot of them were really sick, mainly because of the food.
And that's why they wore those little bibs on their black clothes. That's what it was.
Yeah, so that's what our Thanksgiving is supposedly about. The Mayflower folks, the people who came over on the Mayflower and the Plymouth colony at Plymouth Rock, having a big harvest feast with the Native Americans, which were already dying out by that time. They went really, really quickly as soon as the
one person sneezed.
Started to arrive.
That was it.
That was it. That's it.
Yep, that's
Goodbye.
Pretty much it. Oh, I seem to have the sniffles. Why are you all falling down?
Yes.
But thank you for leaving me the land and all this food. We give thanks.
Well, what is yours based on? I mean, is yours based on ours, or is it based on Newfoundland?
Oh, Lord, it goes back
Viking
to...
food?
No, it's turkey and stuff.
Why not?
You guys copied from us.
No, we didn't.
Are you kidding me?
We don't...
when is your Thanksgiving?
We never copy Canadians.
When is your Thanksgiving?
It's so funny.
When is your Thanksgiving?
It's in November.
So ours is first. So where would you have got the idea from?
Yeah, but when did you start having an actual Thanksgiving?
Well, the Indians that showed up for your Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
That was us.
No.
Yeah.
I bet
Iroquois and
Algonquin. Yeah, were they Algonquin? No, they weren't Algonquin. No.
Iroquois, Algonquin, and the Plymouth one. The Indian on the hubcap of a Plymouth?
Yeah, that one.
That's Iroquois.
Yeah. Iroquois,
okay.
That's...
This isn't April Fool's Day. No, ours actually started... after the 7 Years' War in about 1760s or something. So I have no idea why they picked October. But that was it. So
I think it...
In 1816, both Lower Canada and Upper Canada observed Thanksgiving on different dates. One celebrated Thanksgiving for the termination of the War of 1812. And other ones, the Lower Rebellion and all. I'm just pulling your leg. I'm pulling your old turkey leg there, woman. You know what? I have calls coming in already for 2 mediums and a large. And for some reason, some bizarre reason...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm doing it now. I think I've snuck Cindy in here. But we'll keep
Cindy's here. Is Paisley here yet, or is she?
No, Paisley will be here in about 12 minutes. So we'll continue to talk amongst ourselves. I'm going to harass you about you guys stealing Thanksgiving from the Iroquois.
Is Cindy Canadian or is Cindy from the United States?
She's Canadian. She lives in Canada.
So she's...
Well, she's actually...
Steal it.
No, she's actually not. Well, she's part Canadian. No, I don't know. I want to say the Netherlands. Cindy, are you from the Netherlands? Like part of your family from the Netherlands?
Hi.
Hi, Cindy. Welcome. Did you steal Canadian Thanksgiving? Because are you the Cindy who stole Thanksgiving? Because I'm the Elizabeth who stole Thanksgiving.
I was teasing her about their Thanksgiving and saying, "Oh, you've got the same food as us. Obviously, ours is first in October, so you're not that original." And she's like, "What?" Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I definitely am not. I haven't stole Thanksgiving.
No. We're going to wait for that Charlie Brown cartoon, though. The the theft of Thanksgiving. The theft of Thanksgiving past. Oh.
Yes.
Hey,
The ghost of Thanksgiving past. That's just so wrong. Don't even think too hard about that.
Cindy, before you came on, we were talking about dreams and dream interpretation, and my interview with a guy named Ian Wallace, who's a dream expert out of Scotland, and going through the 10 most common dreams and their meanings. But you actually do dream interpretation sometimes, don't you?
I do, yeah. I do more dream work than I do dream interpretation. So it's kind of a different thing. But definitely when there's limited time and when there's, conversations flying around the dinner table, that's the more common time where dream interpretation really comes in handy. You can kind of get almost like to the root of the dream. So in that moment when you're with someone and they're telling you about a dream of not having any teeth, for example, then you can really pick up on that strong feeling that, they're wishing they had a bit of bite. And just to roll with it. Whereas dream work is a bit different, and you're looking at the person's life overall, and you're looking at dream trends overall, and what can be done in waking hours to act on the dream, which is what I really love the most.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, we were talking about lucid dreaming and all sorts of other bizarre stuff that I had when I was a kid. Do you find...
cool.
Like I was saying that I could control my dreams. The naked dream one, I don't care if I'm naked. I just walk around and, after you get over that fear, I can control my actions in my dream. So I just said, screw it, and walked around naked, and then the dream was over. It's like, okay, that didn't work. Give me another one give me another metaphor for how I'm feeling or something, but I'll see if I can pass that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dreams are super responsive. So when they notice that something kind of irks you, it'll tend to come up again and again. And the other thing is they will give you almost like a vocabulary. So like you said, if you got like emotionally reactive to being naked in the dream, but then it didn't work anymore, your dreams would kind of search around for like a new vocabulary to express what's going on for you.
Yeah, kind of pass the message. And because I was...
Yeah, and right now... Go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, I was going to say, right now I'm really digging lucid dreaming. And for years, I was just not really attracted to it. Like, I would enjoy my lucid dreams, but I wasn't trying to make them come about, or I wasn't trying to force what I was doing in the dream. But now I'm really enjoying it because of different things that I've learned. So, for example, if I become aware that I'm dreaming and I realize I can make decisions in the dream that are maybe like much more powerful, much more emotionally charged than they would be in waking hours, then I'm all for it. I think it's awesome.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I've been controlling dreams since I was a kid. So, and I didn't know everybody else couldn't do that. And Elizabeth, who is...
Yeah, like a lot of people have really different experiences.
Yeah. Elizabeth's experiences are different because she had actually gone through an alien abduction. So she's got influences coming from all sorts of different energies.
Yeah. Sometimes what would happen is, you go to bed and you think you're going to sleep, and then you'd be in bed and you'd be conscious, but you'd be in an altered state.
You kind of broke up there. Right after altered state.
And we suffer something. Yeah, altered state. We suffer from state-dependent memory. So what happens is when, you're not really sleeping, but you're in an altered state and projecting alien beings. But sometimes you're physically in an altered state of consciousness and you're...
Okay, Elizabeth. You're totally...
remembering. But,
Elizabeth,
what?
You're completely... You're breaking up
gone?
too long. Yeah, you're breaking up really. But it's a perfect time.
Nobody wants to hear. It's them.
It's them.
It's them.
You can't talk about them on the radio.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
And plus, we only have like 20 seconds left before the commercial.
That next. All right.
Okay. Thanks, Elizabeth. And I'll talk to you
bye.
soon. Okay. Have a good night.
Bye.
And we're going to be right back with Paisley Town and our new good friend, Cindy Charleyboy, right after this.
Hi there, this is Dave Scott, and I would like to invite you to listen Monday through Friday right here on Spaced Out Radio. 3 hours a night of the top stories with the top guests, ranging topics from UFOs to ETs, ghosts to Sasquatch, and everything in between. We are live every night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. So come on in and take a listen at spacedoutradio.com. Spaced Out Radio will take you out of this world.
Hi there, this is your psychic medium Joanna, and I would love it if you would join us every other Sunday on Spaced Out Weekend. With host James Tyson, we'll bring you personal psychic messages on 2 mediums and a large. Questions about love, life, career changes. We would love it if you would come and join us live. Call in and listen in for the experience. Allow us to open the doors to your other side. 2 mediums and a large, heard only on Spaced Out Weekend at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for news beyond the mainstream news? Head to spacedoutradio.com and check out the SOR Spacewire. This is Spaced Out Radio's Eric Markham, News Director for the SOR Spacewire. Daily, I will bring you intriguing stories and outlandish reports from what's going on around the world. UFO sightings, paranormal activity, conspiracies, alternative health, and so much more. And if you have news, email me at news@spacedoutradio.com.
Attention Spaced Out Radio listeners. For only $5 a month, you can join Spaced Out Radio Space Travelers. Your membership at spacedoutradio.com will give you access to private fan area on the website, get you a monthly newsletter, draws for monthly swag, and a whole lot more. Sign up today to become a part of the Spaced Out Radio experience.
For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. With their money-back guarantee and the many benefits, how can you afford not to get one? Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com for mind, body, and spirit, and expect a miracle.
Patrolling the Pacific Northwest, we are always on the lookout for the strange and unassuming stories that real people are experiencing. Hi, I'm Vincent Zunza from Pacific North Weird. Me and Alexandra Sullivan have teamed to bring to you those odd stories that never seem to make it into the mainstream. Stories so weird that will leave you scratching your head wondering, is this real? It's as real as it gets with Pacific North Weird. You can watch our videos right here at spacedoutradio.com.
It's time to go live on Spaced Out Weekend.
13, please. Oh, hi, Kevin. Oh, is that the time? Kevin, my friend, don't you find that watch just a little bit loud? Well, I certainly hope our buddy Bumblefoot is playing when we get there. Oh, you stinky big bundle of hair. I said Bumblefoot, not Bigfoot. Oh, it's going to be a long night.
It's time to head to the 13th floor of the old log cabin for Spaced Out Weekend with James Tyson. You can tweet James at James Tyson SOR. You can find him on Instagram, Spaced Out Weekend, as well as on Facebook. On YouTube, our channel is Spaced Out Radio Show, and you can check out our website, spacedoutradio.com.
Little brother has taken control, shoveling dirt in every hole. Predators to condemn your soul, watching you and watching me. We're all connected but separated, misunderstood and so frustrated. A million armies of one have invaded, watching you and watching me. We live behind glass curtains and act like nothing's wrong. Soon you will belong. I know you're out there somewhere. We've watched you for so long. Wait for you to fall. We'll expose you all. I know you're out there somewhere. Watch it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And now, perched high in his captain's chair, way above the clouds, here's James Tyson.
Welcome, everybody, to Spaced Out Weekend. I'm sorry, I just like saying it like that. Tonight on Two Mediums and a Large, we do not have Joanna here because she's out celebrating, in her own Polish ways, the Canadian Thanksgiving. But with us, in lieu of Joanna, is a lovely young lady named Cindy Charleyboy. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about Cindy, buckle up because here we go. And unfortunately, Cindy, I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to wait until you can say the name of the band you're with, and because it's a good one. And I just can't pronounce it. Cindy is First Nations, Canadian, and Norwegian, and currently resides in Vancouver, British Columbia, up here in Canada, in the Great Beige North. She works from home and travels as a consultant, focusing mainly on facilitation work with Indigenous groups and organizations such as IndigenEYEZ. Cindy also spends a large part of her time writing, visioning, and working with her dreams, gifts she has had from a very young age. Now, since 2010, she has been on a path of concentrated effort, learning and sharing her interests in esoteric subjects such as Dreamwork, Numerology, Tarot, Oracle cards, Reiki, and Astrology. She's a certified dream teacher, Reiki mastered teacher, and angel card reader. She does not hold to one truth, one philosophy, or one method. Her interest is in weaving together the practical application of many approaches to stretch the limits of creativity and imagination. Her work is intergenerational and multidimensional. Her intention is in assisting growth for herself and others to fuller, truer potentials. Now, Cindy can be booked for workshops, facilitation, speaking engagements, one-on-one sessions, group sessions, and wellness events. If you want to contact her, you can go to cindymcharleyboy@gmail.com. Again, that's cindymcharleyboy@gmail.com. And with young Cindy is our Paisley Town. Now, Paisley is an intuitive psychic. She does psychometry, tarot, numerology, and she is a teacher. And she, in fact, is helping me. I'm taking a course from her to get more confidence in reading my oracle cards. And our first class was last night. It was very, very cool. And looking forward to more of them. She grew up in southern Ontario up here in Canada, and she's always felt various unexplainable tugs and an affinity for stones, shells, crystals, and other inert forms that nonetheless teemed with life and structure. It was in the mid-90s that she was drawn to begin her metaphysical training. Now, while trained in many mystical and psychic arts, I always think that's just creepy, it was... This is when she was introduced to psychometry. Now, that is when you touch something and sensing associations from personal objects. In her case, mostly metal objects such as jewelry, keys, belt buckles. So if you're around her and, you make sure you're wearing suspenders because you'll turn around and your pants are falling down because you run off with your belt. Her intuitive compass pointed north kind of after all this, and everything really focused. Now, she has been on Spaced Out Weekend along with Joanna Banka for quite a long time now, and really looking forward to having her on with Cindy tonight. So, without me gurgling on about living in the paranormal portals of the lower left Canadian coast from my little log cabin on the 13th floor of the Space Out Radio Network, I welcome Cindy M. Charleyboy and Paisley Town. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, James.
How's everybody?
Doing really
well.
Okay,
Yeah.
were you talking about me while I was gone?
Hell yeah.
Okay, alrighty. Well, Cindy, welcome aboard. And
Thank you.
have you done anything over a phone system? How do you work like that?
I have. Well, I do Skype and different things like that. So I've done a couple of radio shows like this before. And I've done, just phone calls, whatever. There's lots of ways of connecting. FaceTime.
Okay, good. Yeah, because we're not really sure, I've already got one course under my belt from Paisley. Yeah, really have no idea how to do things via Skype, but I have read cards for somebody on the show once. I pulled a couple of cards for them.
Oh, cool.
And it seemed to work out okay. Totally forgot about that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really goes with your intention. When you set your intention and you're open to looking at signs, looking at different things, then things start opening up for you. Understanding comes for sure.
Oh, very good. And you've known Paisley for weeks?
Yeah, I've known her for a little while. Maybe about a year and a half ago I met her. Maybe a little bit longer.
Oh, very cool. Now, I've got to get you to say the band name and territory.
Yes. Okay, so I'm from the Tsilhqot'in Nation, which is about 6 hours north of Vancouver.
Okay.
And I'm also Secwepemc, which is from the same area. So 2 First Nations families. I have ancestry from there.
Nice.
And my father was Norwegian from Bellacoola. So that's where I was actually born as well, because that was the nearest hospital. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm kind of from in between Williams Lake and Bellacoola. I've got family all the way through there.
Now, one of the things I
could probably stop about.
If my listener can picture a map of North America, over on the left coast, we have Vancouver Island off here, which, like I like saying, it's the second largest island in the Pacific Ocean after New Zealand. So don't think it's some little island. Above that, there are 2, it's a group of islands up there. And that's Hideaway, and it's just rainy. But anyway, up there were, back a long time ago, there were Norwegian fishermen.
It's incredibly beautiful.
Yes. A lot of Norwegian sailors, like fishermen and loggers. Yeah. So I was in Mountie training in 1988, And I met a First Nations girl from Haida, north of Vancouver Island. Curly blonde hair, beautiful green eyes, a little short girl. And we're all looking at her going, "You're what?" She said, "Well, my grandfather was Norwegian, and her mom and dad are black hair, brown eyes. But her blonde green eyes skipped a generation, and of course, Dad's looking at Mom, going, "All right, what the heck's going on here?" But it was her mother's father was Norwegian, but cute as can be. And she was in a First Nations troop, so there's all these guys looking like, and I swear, I don't know if anyone has ever seen an Apache. I met a guy, a rodeo star, a guy who was an Apache. This guy looked like a Roman gladiator. And some of these First Nation guys, they look like Romans. And they were like 6'2" and cut. And they'd walk out and you're going, yeah, I'm not going to get in his way. And I'm not going to hit on the little blonde girl in his troop either. But anyway, that's my story on Norwegians from up northern in Canada here.
Yes. That sounds exactly like me and my brother. My brother is 6'4". He's very incredibly handsome. I'm the short one. And I would say that definitely First Nations and Norwegian women are very beautiful.
Oh, yes.
Very short, very good sense of humor.
And ticklish.
Looking on the map, Bella Coola is on the largest inlet in BC. And where I'm from is the highest plateau in BC. So very beautiful place. If you look up Tsilhqot'in Lake, you'll see...
Tsilhqot'in Lake? Beautiful.
Yes.
Well,
yes. Beautiful,
many coppers
incredible.
to you. Many coppers to you and good wishes. And I hope we do well tonight. And I think you will.
Yes. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank you. Because we had ours first, because we invented it. No, we didn't. That was a great conversation with Elizabeth earlier. Well, we have 3 people on the phone right now. We have Melody, who came in first. And I want to remind everybody you can call in at 575-694-6634. Again, 575-694-6634. Please, and a reminder, this isn't a full reading where you get an hour or half an hour or 20 minutes or even 10 minutes with our guests. This is kind of a hit and run. So if you do want to have a reading from Paisley or Cindy, you can go to their websites, paisleytown.com, Cindy M. Charleyboy at gmail.com. Well, that's your email. Oh, shoot. I totally
that's okay.
Didn't write down your address, your website.
It's just the name and .com.
Oh, there you go. CindyMCharleyboy.com. And
yes.
What else did I have to... My warning came up. Oh, if you call in, I will hang up on you and call you right back. So if you're worried about long-distance phone bills, don't. And don't worry about me hanging up on you. Because for some reason, when you phone in, I can't add you to the calls until you've hung up or until I hang up on you and then call you back. So for most of you who are phoning in, bless you, you're not going to have to pay a phone bill. And if you're on Skype, or my friends in Australia, which happy Monday afternoon, you can call me on Skype at James_Tyson32. James_Tyson32. And for those in our chat room on Facebook and on Spreaker and Revolution Radio, I can't hook up with, so why am I even mentioning it to them? But I'll be busy on the phones. I will try to get to the chat room as best I can. But right now, let's go to Melody and say hi. Hi, Mel.
Hi, Mel.
Hi, Mel. Hi, you guys. Thank you, James, for calling me back. I feel special.
Well, do you have a question or a...
I do. Paisley helped me several months back, and she was awesome. I'm usually really light loving, happy-go-lucky gal, but I'm raising a teenage son on my own, and I'm just going to cut right to it. I swear that he is a past love of mine reincarnated, and I am going through some hellish karmic lessons all over again, and it's harder because now it's my son.
Mm.
And Mel, did you have a question?
Well, my question is, if this is the case, how do you deal with something like that? I mean, here's my question. This particular boyfriend passed in 99. My son was born in 2001. What is the time frame between when one, physical body stops and another, or a soul can reincarnate? Can I ask that question between the two of you?
Oh, drat,
Cindy, I don't know that I can speak to that.
I can.
Oh, James knows. Good.
It's too early. It's too early by...
It's okay because I know Cindy has something she wants to say.
Okay, my understanding, Mel, that is too early by about 40 to 50 years. But that doesn't mean there is a spirit connection to the individual. Whether it was in your lifetime right now or a lifetime from before.
It's pretty weird. They're so similar, it freaks me out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's almost like an unrest. And I know we're talking about a teenager, and that's normal, angst, all that, but there are too many similar things happening, and it's just, I'm almost just left to believe that.
Okay.
That this is some sort of reincarnated, unrested soul trying to live out a lesson, and it's really bringing, I love him, he's my son, but it's really hard. Really hard.
Cindy?
Yeah, so what I would say is, definitely is something that it sounds like it's going to take a while to unravel. However, there are times where we experience the same type of things again and again. It's not necessarily that it's the same person that's come through, that's been reincarnated as your son, but definitely there can be a recognition of souls. And so something within him and something within you that recognizes this same pattern that you've played out before with another person. And the similarities are so strong that it can be triggering you. But it's like cream coming to the top. It's giving you an opportunity to do something new this time, and you're recognizing it, so that's a really good thing. But to be able to work within it in a different way, so it's a blessing, but it doesn't feel so great right now. And yeah, I've got teenage boys, so 2 teenage boys. Yeah. So I really do believe those challenges come up, and it's something that you're working through, but also something that he's working through.
Definitely. It's so weird because I felt like that was the only thing I could conclude at this point. And you're right, the triggers, and I'm recognizing, okay, like I literally today said, I'm being tested, like not just as a mom, like my soul is being tested right now. What am I going to do with this? And I'm getting all kinds of names hurled at me. I didn't even know that they were in the vocabulary. So, it's a little much information, but it's really, really heavy stuff. And so I agree with that the cream rising to the top, it's really how it feels, or like separating the wheat from the chaff. It's like, okay, it's go time. because I really almost fell apart this weekend. And I just thought, I'm going to call and just throw it out there, see what I can get back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's hard in those times because you really want to help your son.
Yeah.
But the best thing that you can do is to really to take care of yourself in those times. Really putting yourself first as much as you can. And that's what I love, these things that we're talking about, numerology and dreams and so on, because they really help you get in tune with, yourself, your energy, feeling as though you're on your path, and then you're so much better able to handle the challenge.
Stand by.
The angels, they show up. They're there. And I just wish they were literally holding my hand.
Yeah. So the threes, the triple threes, that's ancestry as well.
Okay.
And so once you realize that, perhaps even this partner who has passed could be of help to you. What is your month and day, so I can see where you're at in the cycle?
May 25.
Okay, so you've been having a 3-year this year. So for yourself, really, there should have been themes of change and also themes of wanting to be alone, but in the end, being quite social this year. And so 3 is kind of compatible with your life path. But what about your son's month and day?
February 1st.
Oh, wow. My mom is February 1st. So,
cool.
Yeah. So, okay. So this is interesting. So he's having a 3-year as well. So you guys are lined up in that way. You're not having a challenge in that way, so it would be a different challenge in your numbers. So that's, like a fuller reading, but you could look at, name, you could look at full birth date and so on and see where you guys have some clashes and how to kind of understand each other better. But I think with the 11 energy for yourself, is that through your full date of birth?
No, the soul path or the date of birth is a 9. I'm a 9, but my name melody is an 11. But yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so 9s normally this is tough, but 9s normally have this path of having to do healing and family, and so this is something that's coming up for you, and it's a challenge for sure. Paisley, do you have anything to say about, in terms of life path?
I don't do my numerology readings so much specifically based on life path. So for me, somebody who's born May 25th would, the personality would be like you're a student and you're a teacher. So whether you're having a conversation with your son about picking up his laundry on his way out the door, or whether you're watching Downton Abbey on TV, you're learning and you're teaching.
That's so true. So true. Very, yeah. It's interesting. I love numerology.
So then, Paisley, what about the February 1st?
February 1st, to me, when I look at it, the opposites between the 1 and the 2, the way that I learned numerology, it's really awesome, Cindy, that you're on the show, because I'm so excited about the way that you speak about it. It's so different than the way I do. What I was taught was that the 1 and the 2 are the numbers that are the exact opposite from each other. So it would be someone who has very calm, flowing, consistent energy, and somebody who's very sporadic and up and down all the time. So when you blend those two energies together of like water and calmness, and the sporadicness of the fire energy. Water and fire is like really opposite, and it would be someone who may be constantly conflicted with themselves, even if no one else is in the room.
I would agree with that.
Does that make sense for you? Yeah. Yeah.
I would agree with that. And this has been since he was a little, a toddler, able to speak. Mm-hmm. It's really fascinating. Yeah. Well, I'll have to follow up with some readings, but by all means, if you have more to say, I'll listen.
We have a few more callers just on hold waiting to get in, I think, right, James?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That was great.
Thanks, Mel.
A great question.
Yeah, thank you so much. You guys you're great. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
And I'll trade you your teenage sons for my 2 teenage daughters until they're in their mid-20s.
I've had 2 of those already. Yeah, they're awesome now, but they were not fun at that age either.
No. And I think there's a new app you can get where you can shake them and it buzzes when you start shaking them too much. So, I haven't tried that. Okay, Mel, thanks very much.
Thank you. Yes. Have a great night, you guys.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thanks, Mel.
And
thank you.
We have a 778 caller, and we have Christopher, and we are going over on the island, over to that lovely Vancouver island. Go ahead for Cindy and Paisley.
Are you asking about the 778 number?
No, our 250 friend.
For Tanya.
Tanya over in Victoria.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. So lovely to hear you, and just meeting you, though we're on the phone, but I'm very, very happy and pleased talking to you. I do have some questions. It's not so much of questions, but I would rather to have it some clarification, guidance, some give me just guidance. It's regarding my job, moving on way. The situation at work, I feel like I have used most of the job I'm working at now. So I'm thinking I really see moving on, growing on, and just, expanding my horizons. So what would be your vision or suggestions? Because it's it feels, I believe I'm done at this point with this job, and it's, I'm receiving the feelings that it's just pushing me. Okay, you've done with this. Where do you think I could just switch into what avenue? Please give me the guidance. It's, by the way, thank you for listening. It's my happy birthday day on a Friday, and what would be your suggestions that I could manifest for my new year, personal new year, please? Thank you.
I can hear Cindy shuffling cards as you're speaking, Tanya. Cindy, go right ahead.
Okay, so let's see. I've got a couple things going through my mind. So you said your birthday is coming up this Friday, October 14? October 14? Yes. Okay, yes. So 10, 24, 6. Okay, so this has definitely been a year where you would have rather been taking care of home and taking care of family than giving your energy out to someone, like to a job kind of thing. Do you find that to be the case?
Yes, so I'm just seriously thinking at the point just leaving the job and just take some time off to rejuvenate my forces and just move on. It's coming, I believe, but I need some guidance, please. I'm so excited with my birthday.
Okay, yeah. Well, birthdays are a great time to feel that shift in our energy and to really almost get rejuvenated again. And when I look at your cards, so rather than just look at the dates of your month and day for this year, I am looking at your cards and I'm seeing a lot of 10s. And so in the tarot, this is talking about completion. So that feeling you have of it's almost like a been there, done that, and there isn't any room for growth for you in that place. And so wanting to take a rest, but also wanting to really like check out of the expectation around society. And I do see a really positive outcome. I see help for you, that you have energy that's coming to you, for lifelong energy, that you're able to do this.
Wonderful. So
yeah. Do you have any ideas for like a personal business?
I'm thinking, but I need some education about that, because I feel like I need some time to take off and taking some courses, workshops, because as you know, on Vancouver Island, we have outstanding society and so support I can receive with that. I mean, our people are just like-minded, I want to say. I feel like, when I'm talking to like-minded people, I feel like I'm at home. This is my home. That's I belong to. That's what. But I need some knowledge, education to be more specific, because I sense like something is coming that I cannot explain. And I feel like, okay, the new life and new love is coming, but it's like, it takes me like, okay, Tanya, be grounded. But it's so wonderful. I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to take off and fly.
Oh, good. Yeah. So in your cards, what it's showing is that you do have, it's like something that's right at hand, and that there is support for you. And then also with numerology, normally this time of year in October, November, December, we begin to sense even more so the energy of what's coming for us next year. So if you have the support, the support is there, then definitely it's a really good idea.
So my feelings are right, that's what I'm thinking. Taking some time off, just stop and just listen, not to think, but listen, and just let it go instead of being involved into some negativities, trying to pull, from back, behind. I feel like, okay, I believe I need to let it go and just relax and let the new life to come in.
It looks complete. It looks like your lessons there are complete, and you've done all that you could. So,
can you see any traveling? Because I would like to go and travel to that.
I actually, just based on what I was focusing on when I was shuffling, I don't see anything in regards to travel, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. If you do traveling, it's more likely that you'll be doing a bit of traveling alone, and that could be how you have that energy of taking a break as well.
Ladies, it was sensationally talking to you, and blessings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tanya. Tanya, you've been getting quite a lot of compliments on your beautiful accent, and the people in the chat room want to know where you're from. Where are you from?
New Jersey.
I'm from Russia.
From Russia.
I'm from Russia.
Okay, there you go, guys. Thank you. It was great talking to you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you.
Too.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And I want to just put it out there for everyone again. If you are calling in at 575-694-6634, again, 575-694-6634, you'll just, I'll end up hanging up on you, and then I'll call you back. And when I call you back, don't say hello because you might be interrupting somebody else. But for right now, we are going to bounce out to our 778 phone number and say hello.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good. Who's this?
Excellent.
Amanda.
Amanda, I'm right in the middle of sending you a long thing.
Don't forget about the meditation thing, because that's the one I want to do. I need to do the meditation one.
Alrighty. And then...
Hi, girls.
Hi, Amanda. Hi. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Did you have a question for one of us? And we both do numerology, so tell us your birthday again, Amanda.
November 7th. Do you want the year? I don't mind giving the year.
Sure. Yeah, sure. That's
1970.
Fine. Okay. And did you have a question for Cindy or I?
Well, either of you, whoever picks up. Just what's in store for me? It's just a general question. Do you see anything in store for me that I should be prepared for?
Hey, this is Eric. Leave a message.
You can go ahead, Paisley.
Okay, so Amanda, I can't remember. I know I've read for you before on the air, and you live near my house, so you're my neighbor. But one thing that comes up really strong from your question, but also from your birthday, is impatience. It's like, it's so funny that you're saying, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
I am probably the most impatient human being you will ever come across. Ask James.
Yeah. Holy crap.
So bad. So bad.
So part of the answer is, if you can release that anxious energy like from the body by doing cardio or doing swimming or doing some kind of physical activity or singing or dancing, something, you get what I'm saying. If you can release that energy, it helps keep you calm so that you don't get to the place where you're like, now it's going to happen, now it's going to happen, now it's going to happen. It'll just be like, oh, cool, stuff's happening. This is what's going on. You'll be able to just see all the things that are going on without like waiting for something. I call it holding your breath. So I feel like right now you're holding your breath, waiting for something to happen instead of seeing what's happening. Yeah. Instead of being in the present, you're a little bit in
I'm constantly thinking about the future.
Yeah.
Even an hour from now or 5 minutes from now or a week from now, I'm always,
But what a great show this is right now.
Calm down.
Cindy, do you have any advice for Amanda?
I do. Amanda, I would say that in numerology, looking at your personal year, which is based on your month and day, plus the calendar year, it looks like you've been in what's called a 9 years. So you've come to the end, near the end of a 9-year cycle. And so you would have probably seen themes of like wrapping some things up this year, finishing some things. Maybe some things came to an end that you didn't want to, or maybe you knew you should end some things that you just haven't yet. And so looking at your year next year, so even beginning now, it begins to shift and something new will come in. October is a really great time for you to look at this. Just notice what, something new that's trying to come in. So I heard you talking with James at the start about meditation. So if there's like a new method that works for you, it wouldn't be something new and abrupt. It'll be something like new, like just really gradual. And it'll actually be throughout 2017, that's going to be a theme for you, is like new things coming up. But you'll still have the task of wrapping up those things that you didn't quite wrap up this year. So you'll have to do some wrap up.
Because I just changed positions at my work. I finally got into a position that I really wanted, and this week was actually my first week. So, So that's what happens is by October we get into realizing like some new themes for next year. So
Yeah, so 2017, it'll be a gradual shift, and you'll still have some tasks of wrapping up. So if there was clutter clearing or anything like that, you'll still have to finish it.
That would be my husband's stuff, not mine. I don't have anything left in the apartment.
Well, that's good. That's awesome. So then it's something else. It could even be like bad habits that you kind of maybe know about, or maybe you enjoy them. And then, like there'll be new space. It's all about making new space. So.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's a good thing. Not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. And of course I'll have to hold some patience, right, Paisley?
It's always good. It's good.
The one thing I really don't have, this is what I did last year. I kept finding little things that I wanted to get my husband for his birthday. It would be like a week before, and I couldn't hold on to it for a week. I had to give him that day, and then it's like, oh no, now I have to go out and get a new. He literally got 8 presents. Day after day after day, like the whole build-up, because I can't even hold back somebody's gift. I get too excited. Oh, they're going to love it. I have to give it to them now. Oh, it's so bad.
I'm going to call you a week before my birthday.
Yeah, I'm already thinking about Christmas.
Yes, I was going to say, Amanda, Christmas comes and I still want that.
Be on my Christmas list now.
My Aston Martin DB9.
Oh yeah. Well, keep dreaming. Okay. Somebody want to give me the right lotto numbers by chance, so that everybody can have what they want?
Yeah, that's
awesome. Thanks so much, you guys.
Hey, Amanda, just before you go, I want you to get a crystal called tourmaline, because I couldn't remember how to spell it when I was sending it to you. Sending my message.
Okay, I think I already have it.
What do you do with it? You lost it, didn't you? The truth is, mine is, I think it's a green, what is it called? A green citrine? No, maybe not citrine. What's the other one? Tourmaline's
There's
black.
one that always makes me...
Really,
I've got
black.
tourmaline. I do have tourmaline. Yeah, I do have tourmaline.
Where is it?
I do have tourmaline, but I leave it at the front door of my house.
Okay. You need to carry it with you.
I need to carry it with me? Okay, because I was thinking today I need to start bringing stuff to work, because I felt some things at work.
You definitely,
today.
We'll talk about work another time, but you need to load up at work. And
that's what I
keep
thought.
one in your pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Keep one beside your bed.
Okay.
Okay?
Beside my bed. Okay, will do.
Stuff
Thank
going.
you guys. Take care.
I'll send it out. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye, Amanda. And we're going to bounce over to Christopher.
Hello.
G'day, mate.
Hi, Christopher.
How are you? It's nice to talk to the both of you.
We're good. How are you tonight?
Nice to talk to you.
I have a question, if I may. My dreams are now getting to be more futuristic in nature and stuff like that. And my birthday is January 21st, 1970.
Okay, so are you wondering about your dreams, how they're changing, or
how they're changing?
When you say more futuristic, do you mean that there are things that are coming true, or that there are
the content of them, actually?
It's more sci-fi?
Yeah.
More sci-fi.
Like more sci-fi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
About the past 2 months.
Okay. Okay, so Paisley, I'm going to ask you to look at the numerology again first.
Sure.
Yeah, because I really liked the way that you, when you were talking with Amanda, how you gave a bit of advice too, as well, on the personality and so on.
Sure. So, Christopher, your birthday would indicate to me that you're just a very generous, loving, compassionate, healing, helpful person. And one thing that it's important that you watch for would be you like to give lots of things to other people, like time and compliments and helpfulness and generosity. But one thing this birthday needs to watch for is that it's really important that you make sure that you have everything you need first. So it's kind of about, self-care and making sure that you're not going to be in a position you can help others as long as you're not sort of burning out. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah, I feel sometimes I get used.
Mm-hmm. So it's a good thing to be aware of and pay attention to. And because your birthday is January 21st, I would say there's times you're a very social person being born in 1970, but also there's times where you need to pull back away from people and have downtime to yourself so you can think about, if, for example, if you're feeling either betrayed or used or, wow, that person only comes to me when they need something, that kind of thing. You can pull back and reflect upon that on your own by yourself and come up with a solution from within without asking for any other advice from outside people. And so that's just really important. The self-care component comes up really strong with this birthday.
Awesome.
Yeah. And Cindy?
Yeah, so Christopher, I wanted to take some time and look at your numbers as well. This year in numerology, you were in what's called a 22-4 year. So themes for you this year would have been about building something. And so I'm really curious if that comes into play with this idea of having like really futuristic dreams.
Yes, it sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. So do you... Sorry, go ahead.
Things seem like they're starting to change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So do you have an experience of seeing how you would like things to be and seeing things almost like a blueprint?
Yeah, it's almost that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would say it's not something that's always going to be with you in your dreams, but it's probably part of it is that your dreams are realizing that you respond to those type of dreams more than you have been with other dreams. So this is actually a really good sign that your dreams are partnering with you in you're wanting to build something bigger, something better. And so a really great practice for you right now would be to start asking questions before you go to sleep at night. So you would just ask one question, and then in the morning you would write on anything that comes up. And what will happen is you'll start remembering other dreams as well, not only the futuristic type of dreams. And there will be pieces that will start to show you a pattern. And I'm getting that your dreams are coming up this way because they're like really wanting to show you support. So even if your dreams seem to be disturbing or confusing, I would just stay with this practice for a little while of asking a question and then paying attention to all the little pieces that come in.
Yes, it seems like I'm changing from learning to actually putting things into practice.
That's awesome.
Spiritually.
Yeah, that's really good. That's the best especially with dream work. It's so you're doing work in your subconscious, and you're connecting with the collective unconscious. And so it's almost like you're doing your work in the daytime and in the dream time. So the more that you can have a flow between both, the more that it won't feel so disjointed or so foreign or futuristic. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I'm noticing that I'm also pretty eclectic on all this stuff ability-wise. It's kind of freaky. Like last night, somebody was reading me and saw a clear picture of actually what I was doing. throughout the day.
Cool.
Yes.
Did you have anything to add, Paisley?
Sorry, my microphone was muted for a second because I'm in the chat room and apparently I type like a hammer.
Yes, you do.
I think I don't have anything to add. That was so beautiful what you said,
Yeah.
Cindy. I really enjoyed that reading for Christopher. Did you like that, Christopher?
Yeah, I did. It was spot on.
Good.
Perfect.
Oh, great.
Okay, just so we all know, next up is a 484 area code, followed by 604, followed by Eric. And we're coming up with about 8 minutes left, so somebody's going to be hanging on the 7-minute commercial break coming up at the top of the hour, but at least I'm paying for the phone calls. So we're going to go to the 484 right now. Who's this?
Hey, this is Eric. How's it going, James?
Good, sir. How the dickens are you? We got two Erics. Eric Markham.
I'm good.
You're down 3 right now. So Eric, welcome. How have you been?
Good. How about you?
I am well. I'm going to a place called Concrete, Washington soon. It's scary.
Cool.
Yeah. Meeting another Eric Cooper, on a paranormal get-together down there in a very haunted little location, Concrete, Washington. And guess what they make there?
Concrete?
I got to get harder questions. Anyway, you're up with Cindy and Paisley.
Okay, hey guys. So basically, I've kind of been struggling finding my way as far as what I'm doing career-wise. I'm an artist, and it's really freaking hard. And so I'm thinking of switching to teaching. I've always kind of liked teaching, and it just seems more like the lifestyle that would suit me a little bit better. I just want to see if you had any thoughts on that.
Eric, would you mind giving us your birthday so we can run some numbers for you?
Sure, it's February 14th, 1986.
Shall I go first, Cindy?
Sure, that would be great.
Okay, good. And Eric, is Eric your birth name?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have another nickname that you go by, or you use the name Eric for your...
No, it's just Eric.
Okay, perfect. So the name Eric is a 5, and being born on the 14th day of February is a 5. And that would strongly indicate to me someone who's a teacher, a leader, a supervisor, a union rep, someone who owns their own business or is a contractor. Like, so, for example, lots of teachers contract with schools. It's about balance, integrity, honesty, loyalty, responsibility, and really doing the right thing. And also it tells me communication, public speaking, languages. And when I say languages, I could mean sign language, I could mean accounting, I could mean computer technology stuff like computer programming. It doesn't have to be a language like a spoken word language, but it could also be that. So for me, it could be art for absolutely, because art, music, communication. So because of 1986 and the 2 5s and born in February, I would say could even be art teacher.
That's what I would do. Yeah, because I'm an illustrator, so that's like what my thing would be.
And what's the hesitation about?
I guess the hesitation is that I'm really good at art, so I don't want to, I'm hesitant to totally kind of give up on that, because I've been trying to, make a name for myself as an artist. But the problem is it consumes your whole life, and I'm not really one to be sitting in my studio 12 hours a day. I'm, social, and I like getting out, hiking, and going to the gym, and all this different stuff. So I guess I feel like teaching the lifestyle suits me better, but I hate to, kind of waste my talent. You know what I mean?
Right. To me, when I look at your birthday, I would guess teacher, artist, musician, someone who can work well independently and be very social and busy. Yeah. Cindy, do you have anything to add before the commercial break?
Oh, yeah, we're coming up on a break. Okay, so I want to say, Eric, that I fully agree with Paisley. I hear the hesitation in your voice, even when you first started talking. And so if you can work through and start calling yourself, I'm an artist teacher, or I'm a teacher, and just talking through until your voice stops resisting that, it would do you well. And I really want you to look at the 13th card in the Thoth deck, Thoth, and it's called Art. And that's your number. That's your card in the deck. So what that is all about bringing together shadow and light and combining and doing like this beautiful manifestation, this alchemy of art. And so definitely teaching, being in charge, being a leader, those are all for you, but no shortcuts. And the more you resist, the longer it'll take you. And the last thing would be like next year is definitely a success year for you.
Awesome.
Yes. And a very good time for study and for mentorship. So if you were to take on people that you're mentoring as well, that would also work.
Okay. Well, I'm taking them on, not someone taking me on.
It could be both. Like if you're to study under someone, it would be that you were doing rigorous study, but also that you're sharing your craft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Eric, I'm just curious, have I talked to you before on the air?
Yeah. A little while back, yeah.
Yeah, it was months ago.
You have a brother, right? Yeah.
I have a brother, yeah.
Yep,
and also got his mom to call once.
And my mom called.
Thank you for tuning in.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you.
That's very cool. Alrighty, guys, we got to take a break. We'll be back in about 7 minutes, just because that's what Dave Scott tells me to do. So we're going to be right back with more from Cindy and Paisley right after this, I think.
Hi there, this is Dave Scott, and I would like to invite you to listen Monday through Friday right here on Spaced Out Radio. 3 hours a night of the top stories with the top guests, ranging topics from UFOs to ETs, ghosts to Sasquatch, and everything in between. We are live every night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. So come on in and take a listen at spacedoutradio.com. Spaced Out Radio will take you out of this world.
Hi there, this is your psychic medium Joanna, and I would love it if you would join us every other Sunday on Spaced Out Weekend. With host James Tyson, we'll bring you personal psychic messages on 2 mediums and a large. Questions about love, life, career changes. We would love it if you would come and join us live. Call in and listen in for the experience. Allow us to open the doors to your other side. 2 mediums and a large, heard only on Spaced Out Weekend at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for news beyond the mainstream news? Head to spacedoutradio.com and check out the SOR Spacewire. This is Spaced Out Radio's Eric Markham, News Director for the SOR Spacewire. Daily, I will bring you intriguing stories and outlandish reports from what's going on around the world. UFO sightings, paranormal activity, conspiracies, alternative health, and so much more. And if you have news, email me at news@spacedoutradio.com.
Attention Spaced Out Radio listeners. For only $5 a month, you can join Spaced Out Radio Space Travelers. Your membership at spacedoutradio.com will give you access to private fan area on the website, get you a monthly newsletter, draws for monthly swag, and a whole lot more. Sign up today to become a part of the Spaced Out Radio experience.
strange creatures lurking in the night, the sounds of wood knocking in the forest, odd happenings right out of a fictional world. These are the reports I love. Hi there, this is author Ronald Murphy, and I would love it if you join me and Spaced Out Radio host Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month on our journey into the unknown land of cryptozoology at spacedoutradio.com. From Mothman to Frogman and everything in between. Hey, they don't call me the crypto guru for nothing.
Greetings and salutations, space travelers, from the Chronicles of the Unknown team.
What is Chronicles of the Unknown? I keep hearing about this thing.
It's a new paranormal reality TV show based right here in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. Follow our team as we uncover claims of activity on the Caribou Gold Rush Trail. You can also follow us here every third Monday, where two members of our team will be available to answer your questions. We'll give you some equipment updates and some of our experiences on the road, right here on Spaced Out Radio.
For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. With their money-back guarantee and the many benefits, how can you afford not to get one? Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com for mind, body, and spirit, and expect a miracle.
Patrolling the Pacific Northwest, we are always on the lookout for the strange and unassuming stories that real people are experiencing. Hi, I'm Vincent Zunza from Pacific North Weird. Me and Alexandra Sullivan have teamed to bring to you those odd stories that never seem to make it into the mainstream. Stories so weird that will leave you scratching your head wondering, is this real? It's as real as it gets with Pacific North Weird. You can watch our videos right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Find yourself constantly looking up in the sky, looking for answers? Have you had extraterrestrial contact? Are you an abductee? Looking for answers to your experiences? Hi there, I'm R. Keith Andrews, Spaced Out Radio's resident ET expert. Join me live the first Friday of every month, where I take questions from the Spaced Out Radio chat room and help you understand those from the far-off world. It's 2 hours of knowledge every experiencer should listen to. Hope to see you there.
Hey everybody, this is Patrick Webster Small, and I'm here to bring you the Webster Phenomena every Saturday night, live at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. If you're looking for aliens and extraterrestrials, well, we've got them. Big and tall, short and small. You're bound to find what you're looking for. So join me on the Webster Phenomena right here on Spaced Out Radio.
Hi there, this is Jolene with Reiki and Readings, and I want you to relax. Let me help you chill out and get in touch with your body, mind, and soul. In this busy world, sometimes we need to let go, and this is where I can help. Visit my website, rivuletrndr.wix.com/rivuletrndr, or my Facebook page, Rivulet R&R, to set up an appointment for relaxation, Reiki, or readings, no matter where you are. It's time for you to make time for you.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Every month on Spaced Out Radio, we look into the deep and dark reports of cryptids roaming around the world with me, Rob Morphy from Cryptopia.us. I would love it if you would join me and host Dave Scott as we delve into the most arcane stories and reports regarding creatures of the unknown. My job is to hunt down the details and bring the evidence forward to you. These aren't your regular Bigfoot stories I'm talking about either. You can find out more about crypto history at spacedoutradio.com.
Tonight's edition of Spaced Out Weekend is brought to you by spacedoutradio.com, where you can now sign up to become a Space Traveler member. Now, for the final time tonight, here's Spaced Out Weekend's James Tyson.
Welcome back, everybody, to Spaced Out Weekends, 2 medium and a large. Tonight, we have Cindy M., Charleyboy, we have Paisley Town. We're doing a lot of numerology, and Cindy's also digging deep into your psyche. If you want to talk about dreams, if something comes to her, or bring something up, all they can say is no, we're not getting anything. We can't tune in, we can't find out what's going on, but whatever. And I just want to tell everybody, if you are a member of the SOR Travelers Club, or as you were, Space Travelers Club, the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com, throw your name in if you want to be eligible for a draw to go to the Waverly Hills Sanatorium in March or April. We haven't got the date completely nailed down yet. With Galen Chauncey and the Ghost Hunters of Virginia. You will not be in line with a bunch of people who've never done something like this before. You will be hooked up with a real group of paranormal investigators. You won't be with ghost hunters. These people know what they're doing. They have all the equipment, and they've invited 2 of you along with them. So again, join the Spaced Out Radio Space Travelers Club. I'm adding somebody else to the call here, and we're going. All right. We're back. And where was it? I'm looking on my list here. My 604 person. Off you go. Hi. Dope. What you could do, tell me where this guy lives who bullied your grandmother, and I'll take care of that. The book thing, I've got a good lawyer. Yeah. My what?
Or the readers.
Oh, you people.
Oh.
Stand closer to your computer.
Should we get Corinne to ask her question again?
It was because he was doing Corinne a favor so that no one actually heard that information, this top secret information.
Yeah, what's going on is Corinne has a grandmother that got bullied, so I was going to go over and talk to the bully.
Yeah,
that's
you're
right.
a good man.
Yes, and it's all cleared up for sure.
Yeah.
So, Corinne, when I look at your numbers for this year, for 2016, I remember when I had a similar year in the numbers, and it's not easy. There's challenges definitely with family. So having more responsibility, or feeling that you do, feeling like kind of a burden of needing to take care of family. And the thing is that overall, this year doesn't jive with like who you normally are. Yeah. And so it's kind of like you resist the year throughout 2016. And so just needing to trust that October, November, December, you're coming into a different energy for next year. And next year is going to be more like your year. Okay, so things are going to be working out for you more. You're not going to have that same type of burden feeling of having to take care of family, or having to like struggle for protection for family, or protection for your project, your book. Anything that you can do to kind of remember that it's not up to you and it's not on you. That maybe someone else can help. Like James offered to help. And so anything you can do to remember that is really going to help you make it through the rest of this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel you, because I know it's not the best environment for you to be in, but next year is going to be a lot better. It's going to be a lot more comfortable.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
And, and I hope what you're saying about it's never a burden to take care of my family. Grandmother, it hasn't been. It's 12 years now, and it never has been. But I hope that burden doesn't get released because, she's not there. Because that's not.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I think what I mean by burden is that it's just like a heavier load than usual this year.
Yes, that is exactly it.
It would not the same. Yeah, it hasn't felt. It wasn't as hard last year. It won't be as hard next year. And this is kind of like a particularly. It's not a very comfortable feeling for you this year. So. Yeah, just knowing that part of the lessons for you this year are to allow others to help, and to know that it's not all on you. I know that's kind of like the hardest lesson that we have.
That has been a hard lesson, because, and and you have to let yourself open up and allow people to help you. If you open the door and there is no one there to help, then and that's what I've found a lot of the time. So that's why I've gotten into a position of I handle things myself.
Yeah. So it's kind of tough, because this is one of those years where that approach doesn't really honestly help. Yeah, but the feeling's there, but it just doesn't. The follow through doesn't work. But it will. You are pulling out of 2016 now. So even in October, even now, you'll begin to feel a bit different.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're right, because I have a source of where I'm going to go to for help. So maybe that's why it's getting lighter. Maybe they will be able to help.
Yeah, and try to really notice if you're telling them exactly how to help you. Because if you do that, then it's not going to work as well as if you just allow them to help you.
Okay.
Yeah. Paisley, did you want to add anything? Are you still there, Paisley?
Yeah, it sounds perfect what you said. I love that. Does that make sense for you, Corinne?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Good. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Great reading.
Well, thank you for calling, and I wish your grandma all the best.
Oh, she's wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a good night.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Eric Markham, come on down.
Coming down. Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Excellent, sir.
Hi.
I've got a recurring dream. Do you need my birth date or
your social?
That would be great, because then both Paisley and
and
Visa. It wouldn't get anything out of that.
Oh, okay.
I've got the kind of identity if somebody stole it, they'd pay me to take it back. Okay. Name's Eric, E-R-I-C.
Right. Date
of birth, May 4th, 1963.
Okay.
Just a baby.
And you also have a dream question, correct?
Yes.
Do you have a numerology question? This is Paisley.
Actually.
Don't ask me about the Edmund Fitzgerald, because I already know the answer to that one.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other night. I never did find that picture, but I know Mom and Dad have one of it in Benton Harbor. This dream I keep having is really bothering me more than anything right now.
Okay.
Because it's coming more frequently, and I don't know if it's becoming more frequently because I'm more conscious of having it, like if it's a feedback loop or what's going on with it. I will preface it by saying I watch a lot of sci-fi, read a lot of sci-fi. Well,
okay. Don't tell us too much, Eric.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
how about
I've tried to analyze it myself, and that's why I'm calling you guys. Okay. It starts.
Eric, I'm just going to interrupt you. I'm going to interrupt you, and I'm going to actually ask you to choose one of the dreams.
Okay.
And then tell us just really briefly what happened during a dream. And then I might ask you a few questions too after that.
Okay. I'm standing outside.
Yep.
And a conventional, like U.S. aircraft, war airplane, will either hard land in a field I'm standing by, or it's obviously going to crash over the tree line or something. Then shortly after that, a completely unconventional, it's streamlined, so I know it's made for atmospheric flight, but it's not one of ours. And several of them, and it's almost like a dogfight happens, but the non-conventional, they're not really shooting ours down, but they're making them look bad. You know what I mean? They're both, literally flying circles around what I recognize as our aircraft. And I keep having this stupid dream.
Are you sure this is not a reoccurring dream about Donald Trump?
Oh, no. She said the word. Oh, no. Please, Cindy.
Don't go there.
So when you said, Eric, that they're making us look bad, that's what I was thinking of.
Oh.
But I want to ask, do you have any other type of history with aircrafts, other than you said that you have been reading sci-fi? Do you have any other history?
I have a daughter that's in the Air Force.
Okay.
I have a passion for aircraft. I love old airplanes.
Awesome.
Me too.
So, I mean, I went to the Udvar-Hazy Annex of the Smithsonian and spent an entire day there. I was in airplane geek heaven. Especially
and was that recently?
Yeah, well, it's been a few years.
Okay.
But, every chance I get, I'll go to an air museum.
Nice.
And ever since I was a kid, I love aircraft.
Yeah. So when you wake up from a dream like this, what kind of feelings do you have?
I always have it didn't happen. Oh, it didn't happen. It is so real when I'm standing there watching these foreign-looking airframes. Literally, they'll be flying around like our F-18s or our F-22s, flying around them like gnats fly around humans. It's just they're obviously that much more maneuverable than ours. And while I'm watching it happen, I always feel like it's there, like it's really happening. Like I'm really, it doesn't have a dream quality to it.
Okay.
And then when I wake up out of it, it's like, oh, it hasn't happened yet.
Oh,
like I'm anticipating this actually happening.
Okay. So is it like a good anticipation, or is it disappointment that it hasn't happened yet?
Well, it's kind of neutral. I think I'm actually disappointed in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, that didn't really happen. Yeah, I'd have to say I'm disappointed. I mean, I don't want to see our planes getting shot out of the air, obviously, with a daughter that's in the Air Force. But I feel like it's a disclosure moment type of thing. It's like, oh crap, it didn't really happen.
Okay, and what does the word disclosure bring up for you?
Well, I'm already a believer in extraterrestrials. I've seen UFOs, or at least one that I know was a UFO.
Mm-hmm.
And, to me, disclosure means, well, now the people that thought I was, stoned can't say that now because it's happening.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Wow. Well, Eric, I just have to say, I don't believe that dreams necessarily have a single meaning. And so there isn't something from the dream that stands out as, so that it's referring to something specific, like an event or something. But it really does, the way that you describe it, it really brings an excitement to me. And I know that if I was, as you talked about feeling passionate about planes and have had this passion for a very long time, then I would definitely be excited to have witnessed that. And one thing that I do believe is that when we see something in a dream, that it has actually occurred. It has already occurred. And so I would just invite you to just hold on to that feeling like that it has occurred, and see if you can bring it into this sort of reality that we're in right now, even by sketching the plane or the planes, if there was more than one type. And even if you feel like you're not doing them justice, to kind of keep at it, because there's definitely something there for you. Like, I keep thinking that it's like a calling, or like something asking you to pay attention.
Okay.
Yeah, and just looking at your numbers this year, you've been having kind of like a completion year. So you would be going into something new at about this time of year. So if there's anything that you can see a way to like bring it forward into the next year, this might be a new cycle that you're working on. Definitely, I would be curious to see what the planes look like. If I was able to witness something like that, that would be amazing.
Think of a cross between a soaring manta ray and a blue heron.
Wow.
Very graceful, very organic looking aircraft. The UFOs or whatever. Very, just, the lines are all smooth. There's no harsh, straight lines on them. And they're very organic looking.
Wow, that's amazing. That sounds beautiful. And I just feel like that's such an honor when you see something in a dream that you haven't seen yet in your waking hours. And for you to be able to see that more than once is a real blessing.
Okay. Well, I'm sure I've been having it pretty steady 2 to 3 times a month, so I don't think it's going to disappear anytime soon.
Yeah, cool. Well, and notice your other dreams too, because then other things can start to come forward as well.
Okay, cool.
Very cool. Hey, Eric, was your
Yes,
dad
sir.
in the Air Force?
No, he was Navy like me.
Okay. My dad did the whole Air Force thing, and I could tell you all about Second World War aircraft. Now, that saying, my dad never talked to me about that. So when I had my past life regression, I found out why I knew so much about the German aircraft and World War II aircraft is that I was a Luftwaffe pilot in the Second World War.
Oh, no kid.
Yeah, you should look into that. And I think, Paisley, does Joanna do that? Do past life?
I don't know.
I know
think
Karen
she does,
Dahlman
yeah.
does. Karen A. Dahlman, who was the Ouija board lady that I had on, she
Okay.
does past life stuff. And
I'm almost afraid of doing a past life regression because history is a passion of mine. And I wouldn't, well, it'd be awful hard to figure out whether I was seeing really a past life that I had or seeing a past life that I wanted to have.
Yeah,
other than the one where I see myself, or I feel myself being obliterated by a tidal wave.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, that one felt pretty real. But
I died in the hospital of respiratory issues, so it was okay. And Karen actually wrote me yesterday. She's got more information from Spirit in regards to the fellow that I was, so I'm kind of pumped up to find out that. But that's something to think about. And it's back of the head. It's not front of the head. It's not something that you'll make up. You'll know if you're hypnotized.
Okay.
And it's like you still look around the room, and it's very cool.
Okay.
Anyway, something to think about.
Well, thanks a lot, James. I appreciate it. And
You're very welcome.
Thank you for the reading.
It was awesome, Eric. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to go over to our 402 area code. Hi, who's this?
This is Sharon.
Hello, Sharon.
Yeah, I'm not as exciting as the other callers.
No,
Sorry.
It's okay.
So,
go ahead.
When is your birthday?
August 31st.
I'm way older than you. Mine's August 4th.
Oh, yeah.
And Sharon, did you have a question?
Yeah, just relationships. A lot of difficulty with relationships. The woman that called, I can't remember her name, but what she was talking about, needing help and, going to the door and finding nobody there. It's kind of what's happened to me a lot. I'm usually the one that helps everybody, but I'm in a position where I need help, and so it's very difficult to ask for help. and nobody's there.
Mm-hmm. Because you're always the one helping everybody.
Usually, yeah. But I'm not in that position right now. And it's just kind of blowing me away. Because I don't think like that. I mean, I wouldn't hesitate to help if I could.
Right. And what's your question about relationships, Sharon?
Just what's going on with them. That's it. Because I'm pretty isolated right now.
Have you been spending any time in nature lately?
Oh, I go for walks. Yeah, tonight I was out.
Okay. I just pulled a card for you, and it's card number 40 in this deck. It says, see yourself in nature.
Yeah, that helps. That makes me feel better. Yeah.
And are you able to get out on a regular basis out in nature, or you're just trying to get out of the house tonight for a change?
Yeah, I could a little bit. I have some issues, back issues. Make it hard.
Right. Cindy, do you have any suggestion or ideas, or do you have your cards handy?
Hi. Yeah, I just didn't realize I had my microphone turned off as well. So, Sharon, is there someone who's passed a craft or anything down to you in the family? Like, is there something Sorry, yes?
I'm sorry. Is there someone who's passed what?
Oh, a craft. Has there been a craft or a gift that's been passed down to you in the family? So an ability to make something.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I'm pretty good at doing stuff, but my family was too, but nothing specific that I can think of.
Okay. And do you have any nieces that you like? Do you have any family nearby? Any nieces?
No, I don't. Okay. I don't have any siblings.
Okay. So with the card that I pulled for you, Sharon, what I'm seeing is that you definitely do have some gifts that have come down to you through family and through your ancestry. So it's almost like it's waiting for you. Something's waiting for you to pick it up and to pass it on. And so even if it was practical things, like mending things, like kids today don't know. I mean, I barely even mend things myself anymore, but younger people today, they wouldn't necessarily readily know how to, but they would so appreciate knowing how to. And so I don't know if there's like a community organization, even like community events happening at a library near you or at a church. I'm not necessarily seeing
the only thing I could think of is is horses. I used to. That's a natural gift that I have. And my
that would be.
Was also there's horses are in my family.
So do you have an opportunity to be near horses?
Not really, but I mean, I could, go drive and find one, Yeah,
that would be amazing.
But I mean, I can't really do what I used to do right now,
Yeah, actually, I was out driving today and I drove by the Secwepemc place and I was just like, oh my gosh, now I know where it is. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to go riding, but just being around horses is such a great experience. Like they're so, horses themselves, they know what's going on with you. They're really super intuitive. And they kind of know if they can push you around a little. They know if they, if you need just someone to be close by. And so if you were able to volunteer and do something like that, like even if it was just going and being near horses.
My dream was always to teach special ed, teach kids. And my son was going to help me. We were going to get it started. I mean, I had that dream before it was they even had it. Now there are a lot of places that do it. And then I was going to teach troubled kids because horses are very healing and they ground you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They are.
But I can't do that anymore.
Yeah. So, but even being around them, like it doesn't mean necessarily that you're full on teaching the way that you had wanted to, but I do see you stepping into a role of being able to pass on this gift that's been handed down to you through your family. And I do see you in a community setting, so it would be something that is nearby and that's accessible to you. And even if you were able to do that volunteer, it would really turn things around for you. And just as important, that there is younger people that are wanting to receive this gift from you.
You said community setting. Could you explain what you mean by that? What do you mean?
Well, like I was saying, it's either like a place where you can volunteer. Yeah. Okay. So it's something for your community. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
So, and I really, I feel for you that feeling of not necessarily having people around you and not necessarily being able to do the thing that you really had your heart in, but I do see like a really powerful purpose is still there for you.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I thank you for calling in tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate that, honey. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
James,
yes.
You got anything? Do you have anything?
No, I don't. And it's kind of weird because I just it's kind of more of a numb thing. But I should stand over here. I was out on the roof. The horse, the connection with the horse, you're going to find that what you contact or when you are close to the horse and you're helping other people, the horse is actually helping you as well as the other person.
Yeah.
It's not and I was just communicating with Amanda, and I again use the analogy of the bumpers on a bowling alley for the kids. Yeah. Don't take on other people's energy. Let it skip and guide them down the path that they're supposed to go on. Don't carry them down a path.
Right.
Don't use all. Yeah. We've all been given X amount of energy. We can replenish it. We can ground ourselves. We can go to the water or wherever you get your energy built up. But everyone else has energy. Your kid falls down and scrapes his knee. Show empathy and pat him on the head and wash the knee off. But you don't have to do Reiki on a scrape on the knee. His energy will take care of that. You've got to be aware where your energy comes from and how much of it you're dealing out to other people. And
I appreciate everything you're saying because in the past that's been the issue. But right now I'm like in this stuck spot where I have to get myself. I need help to get up so that I can help other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right now, it's as a policeman, you go running into a situation and you never throw yourself out in front of the bullet about to hit the little kid. Because if you take the bullet, there'll be no one around to protect the kid after that or anyone else. So you don't sacrifice yourself for someone else. You have to be prepared and have all your ducks in a row. You've got to have your bat utility belt filled with everything you need to go help somebody. You never go off with half a penis. I mean, half cocked. You've got to be completely loaded before you can go out, or else you're going to get screwed. And you're going to find yourself going down the tubes, like probably you feel now.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm already there.
Yeah, well, stop it.
Been there, done that. So.
Find what replenishes your energy and make that a priority. Because this is all on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a Shar thing. This is a you thing. So get your big girl pants on. Figure out where you get your energy charged from, and go there without thinking about, I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, maybe the next day. Because no one can grab you and drag you there. It's got to be you, and that's the path you're on right now. This is the challenge you have to overcome.
Well, you have to come and beat up the people that are being mean to me.
No.
And make them stop.
Nope.
And then I can't beat them up.
You just have to get your poop together. You have to get your energy up and clear your head.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad I didn't have anything to say?
I knew you did.
I know. All right, kid.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thanks, guys. Why are you sorry?
Oh, I'm okay. We're going to go over to our 303 area code. Who is this?
Oh. Hi, this is Michael.
Hello, Michael. Thanks for holding on so long.
Thank you so much for having me. I am interested because you have a new guest today, Cindy, and my situation is very simple. I have been looking for work for quite some time, and it hasn't materialized yet. And any advice or any signs or what direction I should be taking or anything is coming my way, what is it up there? Because that's the major issue for me, Cindy, and maybe things we can add. But what do you think? Do you need my date of birth?
Yeah, and your name again. I missed your name at the start.
Michael.
Okay. Yeah. And your birth date?
January 1672.
Okay. And where are you from, Michael?
I would ask you to guess, but from the States, but originally from Russia, yeah, but from the States for quite some time, so.
Okay. Okay, so Paisley, are you there?
I am. I've done about 4 readings for Michael in the last little while. So he's a regular. He's got awesome questions about work and what's happening with his work. And he's excited to speak that you're on the air tonight, Cindy.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Michael, I'm going to ask another question because I'm not picking anything up yet. So if you've been listening throughout the show, it's normally I'm starting talking right away about the numerology. But with you, I'm not picking anything up yet. And so I want to ask, have you been employed? Have you been working, or you're just straight up looking for work?
I had one project for 4 months, 3 months, and it's over. I finished that about a month ago. So, but before that I was looking. I had a temp project and finished that, and now I'm looking again. But in the meantime, I was still looking. So I have some activities, but it's not materializing. So
yeah, so for you, I think I would want to get down to, rather than looking ahead and trying to see, is anything coming up? in my environment, I would try to get down more to how can I align with my own energy that I was born with, so that I can line up with the good opportunities that have been presenting themselves. So with you, like for the year that you've had, I would have expected that you would have had a fairly successful year, unless there were some maybe like some power things happening, power struggles, or even like an energy of things being overturned. So an opportunity coming up and then being overturned. I would say that there's some, like, I would definitely guess some power struggles. And so I don't necessarily mean that there's that people are resisting you or that you're resisting them, but it's like a mutual type of thing. So it's almost like an energy that is clashing. There's an expression about these two mountains. There is a metaphor of these two mountains. And each time that you try to cross over, so each time that you try to get a contract, or you try to go for a new project, or that you are trying to make a change, that the two mountains move together in front of you and you're not able to pass. So I would really strongly suggest that you would be willing to move from that. Whatever is blocking you, it could be yourself, it could be others, but that you move from that. Because, is any of that making sense?
I'm sorry?
Is any of that making sense for you?
Yes, but I don't know how. You're right, probably right. There are certain things I really would like. I know exactly what I want. But every time when I get close, I'm not getting, like you're saying, I guess, the mountains, right, getting into my path. Sometimes I feel like it's even like a curse, like even it feels like it, right? And I don't know if it's coming to the end or if anything. Yeah, it was not successful year for me. This 2016 was a very difficult year for me. So.
Okay, so what I would suggest then is for October, for this month, I would really, really pay attention to anything different that is coming up. If you notice, like even if you look back on today and realize that there's something that that you need to let go of, a habit, or it could be an attachment of wanting things a certain way, to be willing to let that go. And it's not necessarily that you're going to let it go right away, but just to be in a place where you're willing. It's going to help bring you into 2017 in a better way. So there could be some things too that if I was you, Michael, I would really look into astrology, because when you're looking at the external environment, there are certain things that can really kind of kick you in the ass and leave you feeling like you don't know what is happening. And those are usually the bigger things in astrology. Okay, so numerology is nice for seeing the cycle that you're in, but if things are not working out for you, you need to get even deeper into who you are and what gifts that you have to offer, and maybe what's happening that's blocking you. So it could be something that you're doing and something from the external environment that's making those two mountains crash together. So if I was you, I would really want to know, like, what is up, what's going on with me, and how can I work with this, because this is where I'm at.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything to add? Anything coming my way? Maybe, I don't know if you pull any cards or anything.
I didn't pull any cards for you, Michael, not this time. How about you, James? Do you have anything to add for Michael?
I just see I get self-inflicted. I get that not the job search with what is perceived to be a negative is something you've created. Your worries about it are creating a negative in your mind. When on the exterior, it's actually not as bad as you've made it in your head. Does that make any sense? Because that's all I'm getting. What I'm seeing is dark, like a cloud over your head. But to me, that's more of a self-inflicted piling up, like different pieces of bread, one on top of another. You're creating this. This I don't really understand, or I don't like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and I think this is going to happen. I think this is going to happen, and you've thought yourself into a real worry about something that you don't have any control over. Now, remember that, and this is getting out of that the vision I just had, but stress is the loss of control or the perceived loss of control of a situation. So what you're doing is you're creating stress because, A, you don't have control over somebody. Once you've made the application and gone through the interview, you have no control over what happens. That is really hard to let go. You have to take a deep breath and let it happen. Control the things that you have control over. You have control of, updating a resume, getting it ready to go, getting dressed, hitting that interview. That is what you have control over. And everything else is out of your control. But what you're trying to do is reach into their basket. And it's frustrating because you can't reach in. Does that make any sense to anybody?
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing it reaching in.
Yeah. And that metaphor that I talked about the two mountains crashing together, that's normally a metaphor for self-sabotage. And so it can be our thoughts, it can be our patterns. And so you really want to command yourself to move from that. That's a dream practice. That's also for daytime, to say, I move from that. I move from that. I can now see what I'm doing, and I move from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if that carries on for a long period of time, if you were to walk up to me on the street, or anyone on the street, they'd look at you and could see there's something afoot. They could see your stress. They could feel that there's something just boiling under the surface because you're not relaxed. You're constantly on edge. So whatever you use, Michael, to regain energy, whatever your happy place is, whether it's on a beach, around a pool, just sitting around the backyard, fishing, anything that centers you and you regain that energy, that's what you should be looking for. Leave the decisions about the jobs to somebody else. And I know you're not, but if you are in a process of looking for other jobs, assign yourself this many hours in the day. It's going to be 2 hours. I'm going to be on the computer. I'm going to look. After that, I'm going to get my shopping done. I'm going to get my cleaning done, and I'm going to go relax. Because without that, you're not going to be any good when the phone does ring. You're going to be mixed up, panicking, and are going to present yourself present the Michael that's not really you, because you're going to be on edge. I'd hire you.
Basically, yeah.
Yes.
Basically, do you have anything to add? Any advice?
Well, it was
anything?
interesting when Cindy was speaking about the two mountains blocking the way, because you and I had talked about before, when I said there's going to, and this was about 2 months ago, I said I was seeing two separate opportunities coming up for you around the same time where you might have to make the choice. And I think Joanna had something to say about two offers for you. So it's interesting that the two keeps being a theme in all the information that's coming through, the two mountains, the two opportunities. So I'm just going to say a prayer for you that it happens quickly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but you don't get a sense how long I may continue this struggle. I'm trying to follow your advice, definitely.
Sure.
Stay positive
Sure.
and visualize and stuff. But
Yeah.
do you get any sense of or feel of time, I guess, by end of this year or whatever?
Time is one of the most difficult answers for a reader to give. And, when James was talking about, the stress under the surface getting ready to boil over that could be visible by anybody just walking by you on the street. When you're asking your question to us, Michael, you're saying, give me information about the struggle. And really, I almost want to say, Michael, you're asking the wrong questions. I almost want to say, I want you to say, Paisley, tell me how soon it's going to be amazing. Not, can you tell me how much more I'm going to have to struggle with this?
Right.
Does that make sense? So,
You're right.
so we have to pay attention to our language and our thoughts so that all that goodness can come to us.
Right.
So check your list again, because I think we talked about you making a list of exactly the perfect job that you're looking for, like what location, what kind of work, what you're going to be doing there, what the pay would be, like to be really specific about your list. Go back to your list and check it and make sure it's all in the positive.
Okay.
And if
So
people say to you, say to you, Michael, how's the job search going? Do not use the word struggle anymore. Unless you want to continue struggling with it. Yeah.
So if we flip that question, like you said, when is it going to be amazing?
Listen
back on
to
time.
his voice change. Did you guys hear his voice change when he said that? Cindy, did you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually happy.
It's almost like you're talking a different person's on the phone now. So I'm sorry. If I had an answer for you, Michael, I would give you the answer right this minute. And I'm sorry I don't have the answer, but keep that energy going, that positive energy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Michael,
Yes, thank you.
So much.
did you wear a suit at your job?
Of course.
Okay. When you put your suit on, how do you feel?
Good.
Good. If you're going for a walk downtown in the next little while and the weather's good, put your suit on. Go window shopping.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Nice shave, a little bit of cologne, look good, head back, shoulders, like you own the place. When you were in Russia, when you were a teenager, did you have to go into military training for a little bit?
For a little bit.
Yeah. Shoulders back, you own the place. When you go into a store, I own the store. And you'll notice people will react to you differently. Their energy will change. Your energy will increase because you feel good and you're projecting yourself, and you're almost like your aura, your glow will walk into a room before you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You're right.
You're right. Put the uniform on and march into town and take it over.
Absolutely. Set the alarm and get ready for work, and get out of the house and walk around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You'll control. You're amazing. You'll find out how much you actually have control over what's going on. And it'll come to you a lot quicker.
And Michael, when you walk like a peacock. Like walk around like these are my feathers. You know, like walk like a peacock. You'll get it right away. You'll understand.
Yeah, it's something that it is. And I think in the next and this would be a Cindy thing too. I think in the next 72 hours or the next 3 nights, you're going to have a dream. Pay attention to any family member that has passed that comes in the dream. They're not going to talk to you. Mm-hmm. They're going to be standing or holding something. But pay attention. If you see it, try to pay attention in the dream and try to remember what the circumstances were when you wake up, because there's something coming for you from somebody. It's a lady, but I don't know who. But
how would I read that?
How would you
understand the message?
I don't know. I don't know. But whatever the context is, whatever they're holding in their hand, it's a symbol or a message of what's going to happen. And I know the lady's going to have she's got a white, it's a white dress that comes just below the knee, and it's got goldish flower pattern. I don't know what that means, but anyway, she looks like she's in her mid-50s. This is weird because I usually don't get a vision like that, but she has very old shoes on, like the little round-toed things, and there's a dirt road. Like she's in you pull into a farm and the driveway's not paved, but it's not a farm. It's just a dirt road with a building, and she's standing there. But she's got something, and I can't see anything above the waist and below her chin. So that, I think, means that information's for you. It's not for me. Okay. I don't know who this is, but that's what I see. And that's really
Michael,
weird.
when you wake up in the morning, Michael, say, where was I? Who was I with? Who was I with? And then that'll help you remember the dream.
Okay. That's great advice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lots of homework.
Guys, I'm
okay, brother. You take care.
Thank you. You take care, guys.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
James,
Thanks
did you
very
step
much,
on a
Michael.
peacock feather?
I don't know. I just, I think I put too much sugar in my tea or something. That was weird. It's weird. It just kept coming out. Paisley, see? I had one lesson.
Awesome.
One lesson. And I'll tell you something else. After I was completely, I was going to say normal, when I started saying that, I have a massive headache right now. Absolutely a massive headache.
We'll talk about that off the air, James.
On my right eye. That is really weird.
Right, Cindy?
What do you mean?
Yep.
Are you saying
I'll tell you in a minute, James.
My tumor's kicking in?
James, do you know what time it is? It's time for Joey's question.
What is Joey's question? Because I've got 40 seconds.
40 seconds is not enough respect for Joey the man.
He's sleeping.
No, he's been typing and typing and typing. He's waiting and waiting.
Yeah, I thought you said he went to bed.
No, it says, okay, here's my question. It's about business.
Go.
When will the money start to flow? Because I have a hard time attracting money. January 2nd, 1976. Cindy, are you getting any information for Joey?
Sorry, did you say 1976?
Yes, and his name is Joseph. And right now he does a radio show, and right now he's just canceled the show till the 17th of this month. Hopefully his voice will be working by then because he can't speak.
Oh,
and so
okay.
For 45 minutes, he's been waiting in the chat room to ask his question.
Okay, cool. Well, I don't know when money is going to flow for him, but he is coming into a 1 year. And so in numerology, that means new things are coming in for him this October. Yes, he should be fine by the 17th. And he should pay attention on today, the 18th, and the 27th of October to see what type of new things are coming up so that he can find out at least where the money is going to flow from.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very quick, easy answer, Joey. We got it in for you in time.
Yay!
Yay! And I'm not going to get into it, but I see like a wooden spoon with a square on top of it. I have no idea what that means, Joey. It's like it's not even the square's not even in the little scoop part of the wooden spoon. It's like halfway up the stick part.
Oh, so it's almost like an egg run.
No, it's just standing there straight. I don't know what it is. It's a small square. Oh my God, my brain's about to fall out.
Cindy, what's an egg run?
I was thinking of if there's a block, so if he's able to balance it on his spoon and just run with it, just run.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice. Joey's saying, yeah, I got you. He understands the message.
Oh,
so weird. If your nose is running, Joey, just let it run.
Let it run. Okay. Now
He's saying thank you, guys.
You're welcome, Josie, and the Pussycats. I got a spike through my eye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and squirrels. Thanks for everybody. And thanks, Cindy. Really appreciate you dropping by.
You.
That was really cool.
It was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, because
a lot of fun.
We're a ton of fun. And thank you, Paisley.
Yes, it was great.
And please, for tomorrow's lovely episodes, go over to spacedoutradio.com and see what you got on hand. And remember, keep an open mind.
This is our last goodbye. Young hearts will stop. Torn souls set free. All that we have is now. If this is what you want, then come to me.
All right, that's it. Let's roll. And hey! Let's be careful out there.
Far over the snow, what are those voices? They sing and they go. What are those voices? Look over the mountain. Because somebody hide, somebody better hide on through the hill, like a pack of angry wolves on the trail. We are after you, dead or alive. We are out to get you, dead or alive. And forget your soul. If you're the one, better run away. Son, you are done. Throw your gun away. Here come the Mounties to get the man they're after now. On through the hill, like a pack of angry wolves on the trail. Dead or alive, we are out to get you, dead or alive. If you're the one, better run away. Son, you are done. Throw your gun away. Here come the Mounties to get the man they're after. No!
I see dead people.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Dave's not here!
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.